everybody ready?
No.
No, I have a commercial I have to get through, and it looks god awful.
All right, I started already, but I just wanted to check. We're doing it. We're doing the streaming.
Excellent. Welcome, one and all, to Roll20 Slant presents Lions and Crows, presented on Roll20 Spotlight, which is on Roll20.net, a subsidiary of pretty awesome stuff in the internet. I got this thing. I'm sure it's been updated. Hold on. I got a thing. We're going to talk about it. The music's a bit loud.
What?
Okay, so we'll bring... Ooh, it's right in my face. All right, so here's the announcements for episode 13 of Lions and Crows. The very much and highly expected and desired finale for our series. We'd like to welcome back Dora, who made it just in time to finish things out. And we'd like to say a fond farewell to Michaela, who's chosen to not... No. Life got in the way. That happens. So we're going to pretend it's not happening. And I'm going to do these.
Denial
so here's
is the best way to cope.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Can I do that like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week?
Denial?
Hold on.
Yes.
Holly, look into the camera. Holly, look into the camera.
I
Look into
am.
it directly.
I am.
Yes, it looks like you can and do. Yes. I wasn't sure, so I had to take a good look. So that's not part of the announcements, people. That's extra. You're already getting above and beyond content from here,
You
from
have
the
to pay
Roll20
more for
Slant.
that.
Yes, pay now. It's too late. You already got it. You have to pay.
You have to pay.
You got to do it. You got to do it. All right. So our channel updates include Wednesday games. It's called Graced. Talk to, well, in Zoom here, but let's see. On the Twitch. This way? No, this way. One of these two. Uh-oh, my Twitch stopped.
Oh my god, she really did change her name. Wait, did you do that?
What?
What?
Oh, wait, that's just a Zoom thing. Never mind.
It is just a Zoom thing.
Just kidding.
But I've been told by reliable sources that I'm only allowed to change my name with the US government every 6 months, so this is my one name change for the next 6 months.
Things are excessive.
It's like,
Also,
it's like a
on the
Blizzard
announcements,
account.
name changes can only occur once every 6 months if you're a U.S. citizen and have to use the government to do such things.
We don't make the rules.
You could dub each other other stuff, though. I don't know how official it is, but you could do it for free.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
There's no waiting period. Anyway, Graced Wednesdays. What time, you ask? Good question. 7:30 p.m. That's Eastern Standard, United States Standard Time, Eastern United States. On Mondays, there's another campaign, which is also brandish, newish. It's starting to become sort of established as a not new one, as it's been quite a few episodes now. But the last page, 7:30 Eastern on Mondays. So Wednesdays, Mondays, Thursdays, you're here, you're living it. That's the Lion and Crows. That's us. That's me. I do that one. Check out the Twitter stuff for the Roll20 Slant updates. If we had new content and we wanted to update it, there's a chance we'll do it there. I don't know how updated the updates are, but they do get updated there. Also on YouTube, which is not an update, but like a backdate for back episodes, or previous is a better word. Yeah. Roll20slant.com. We have our own, they have their own, we, they, us, them, everybody. We as a collective family on the internet all have this. Roll20slant.com. Check it out for backgrounds on our streams. Backgrounds on the closer look at character art by the person who's not here, so we shall not invoke their name again. Quick thanks to Kevin MacLeod for the music. He does royalty free, and I got to tell you, it's the best way to be free, royalty free. That's commoner for the rest of us. We're commoner. Roll20.vtt. Wait, no. Roll20 for the VTT. I can read. And also Roll20 for the Spotlight program. So go on over to roll20.net, because if you haven't, you're missing out on the opportunity to play in games like these. And if you get really crazy, you could then stream these games and then harp on other people to do this very thing. It's great. Custom character art and subscriber emotes by blank at jubalucky nothing, because Twitter doesn't use dots, but at jubalucky. And go to Twitter, which does use a dot in its address on the internet.com, I think. I don't actually, it could be .net, and I could have always been that, and I'll just believe you. So there we go. I've done the announcements, and the music is coming to a crescendo. Maybe, I don't know.
This music is bringing a very unique vibe to the announcements.
It is.
Is it as loud for you guys? It's super loud on my end, but that's
What?
my own.
Huh?
I just turned it up so it'd be loud for everyone.
It's great. It's great. This is royalty free. This is as good as it gets for free. So, anywho. Oh, hey. I put something on
Just
Twitch.
play
I
it
don't
at
know
this
what
volume
happened.
the whole time so you can't hear anything else.
I've turned it down already.
I don't blame you guys. I don't know if I turn this down and it turns it down for the players. Does that turn it down for
Yes.
everybody?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so then I have to turn it down
I usually keep it at like
under
one
master volume
1/4
for
volume.
me.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's so much. But now I can hear people.
What?
So I was fighting the whole time. I don't know if you could
I
tell.
turned it up to
My-
be painfully loud for the stream.
My regular stress levels kind of imply that I'm always fighting strange loud music somewhere. But
Just always Kevin McLeod.
This is actually just what anxiety feels like.
yeah, it's just it's actually the social experiment. I'm trying to recreate others' anxieties to add to my own, because it's not enough apparently.
Yeah.
It's never enough. Anyway, depressions aside, let's jump into the fantasy world of the Dungeons and Dragons. We're now our recap person is notably missing. Can we get that on for like 5 to 10? They said they would be available sometimes for
Oh,
questions.
God.
Wait,
Yeah, bring her in just
Have
for
her
the
on a
recap.
text-
Just for the
text
recap.
recap.
Is maybe that person is watching the stream. Michaela, do a recap in text really quickly for everybody on the chat. Do it. Okay, just in case that's not true though, or they just don't feel like it, or they're not listening, which is another thing I do when I watch streams. We'll have somebody else do the recap. Who feels like it? Who feels like it?
Wait, what? That's all I've gotten from her so far.
I think that's a perfect summary for last episode.
Important not to forget, we bought horses. Because we
Oh,
always
yeah.
forget and the horses die. Not this time, D&D, not this time.
Well,
You reminded us this time. We'll see.
hopefully not this time. All right, well, let's see. Let's get a little bit of recap from everybody then.
I already did my part.
What was your part? Could you recap your
horse.
recap?
The horses.
That doesn't seem like a recap.
Well, Casey started recapping, so really she should continue.
Give us something that has substance as well beyond acquisition of
Wait,
the quadrupeds.
did we get out of hell last session, or was that 2 sessions ago?
No, that
Did-
was last session.
Did
There,
you get
there
out
was a
of hell?
lot last session.
Last
We got out of
session,
hell.
We teleported out of hell.
Correct. You got slam dunked into.
Oh yeah, we were
Imbaran's-
yeeted through the portal by a giant ape.
I'll
and
never
we
use that
ended
word.
up in Imbaran's study, I believe, on notably a non-active teleportation circle, which will be relevant later in the recap. However, we were not alone. Aside from the creepy pervert voyeuristic toad that's just always there watching.
Nobody was hypnotized, so just be happy.
Yeah. Happiness
Go to the
escapes us.
hypnotoad.
But there was a disciple of Imbaran there, a student who said, "You can't be here," and we're like, "Okay, we'll leave." And he was like, "No, stay because you can't be here." And we're like, and so
That doesn't make sense.
he left to go get Imbaran to tell us that we couldn't be there while we tried to leave.
It's like an explanation's not expected. I love it. I love it.
And so with a little tomfoolery, we tricked our way out past the guard who said we couldn't be there but wouldn't let us leave. And on the way out, we were impersonating Imbaran, who then was like, "Why are you impersonating me? Why are
She
you
says
here?"
we like
That
as a
awkward
group to
moment
sit.
when an archmage walks out of his library and sees himself walking across the courtyard.
I mean, we've all been there. And so Cadaverous went and had a spleen to spleen with him, and they talked about why we couldn't be there, and how it was weird that the teleportation circle wasn't active, but we went there anyway. What that means, I honestly don't really know. But it could be relevant. And then...
Who we tagging in? Who's in?
Dora.
Dora is exempt.
What did you say last?
After we arrived at Imbaran's...
Dora, start recapping the last moments of your character.
Oh wait, no, the
Weeks
next
ago.
thing would be the cart and the stealing.
Yeah.
That's the next.
I mean, I can give you my newly acquired DM notes,
No.
So
but I won't.
we ran into this guy on a cart, the same cart that we had just like came from before hell. And it was weird because like, how did he get all the way over here? It's a 2-week journey and it's only been like, what, 3 days, 4 days?
Suspicious.
I'm preparing myself for the morally whitewashed version of the events. that-
Okay, good, because that's what you're gonna get. So we like
The
gave him a
preceding
hard
message
time,
is
and we.
redacted by those who care.
Oh, okay, good. So we gave him a hard time, and we like pushed him off the cart, and we were like, he let it slip. He had some box in a cabinet. We're like, what cabinet? What box? We want to know what it is. What is it? He wouldn't do it. So we were like, come on, guy. We're just gonna take it from you anyway. Just give us the stuff. And he was like, no. And Cadaverous was like, what, suggestion or something? I'm just happy to give you the stuff now. I don't remember the spell that was used. So yeah, he was like, okay, yeah, sure, here's the key. Go ahead. So we got the box. Gislin took the box after we long rested, did a rope trick, and opened the box. And let's see what came out of it. Oh yeah, there was a glyph of warning on it. It had lightning damage. So there was a big lightning explosion that happened, off in the woods somewhere.
No. Notably, only a few hundred yards away from the main road going into town. That was specified.
It's where all the
Would you
best,
like to travel far out of sight from the main
I
road?
have
No,
60
just to the first tree I see.
I just have 60 feet around here. I don't know. So 60 feet away from something. Oh yeah, in the box, it was a glowing gemstone. The same one that we saw from Deerbone times.
The age of Deerbone. It was Deerbone times.
Thinking back to those precious times of Deerbone.
It was the worst of times. It was Deerbone times.
This is just what I have. So it shouldn't be glowing, but it's glowing. Oh, and then we take a long rest. I lied earlier. We took a long rest.
But then we rest.
Well, now I can't trust anything you say.
You shouldn't, because it doesn't make sense. Then like Tio did like a series of messages to like Jardine and Maglin, and oh my god, if you haven't seen that clip, you have to go back and watch it because it is amazing. Oh my god, Maglin, you have a huge dick. I mean, you are a huge dick.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
Sorry,
It was
too
a
much
lot more
information.
like sexually aggressive than was from her.
Okay. Well, this is what I
Listen,
how I
Macklin, you got
remember
a
it.
fat cock.
You should just go back
This
and
is
watch
adults only, right? There's an
Preview
adults
of our
only.
OnlyFans content.
This is why
Are we getting-
this Twitch channel is marked as mature.
Are we banned? What happened?
No, only if we have a battle map.
Oh, okay, good. We don't have a battle map, right? All right, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was that conversation. Darday was just like, yeah, I'm just cleaning up the devils. Magdalene left. Don't know where Aurelia is. Uh-oh. And we buy horses. And we had to Van Garen. But then we were intercepted on the road.
What?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
a rider was sent to us with a message from Magdalene. He's at his estate in the city where we're not supposed to go. And some of us are going to go there. That's all I got.
But then what happened?
Oh, yeah. And then there's another series of messages between Magdalene. Oh, this might have been where she would call him a huge dick. I'm all mixed up. Saying that we're not going to meet with you. Instead, you tell us where Aurelia is. He's like, I'll give you Aurelia when you give me the thing you stole from me. And that's where my notes ended because I didn't take any more notes. So I don't know what we're doing right now.
Beth, I'm gonna
Take it
lean
over.
on you to try to fill in this patchwork that is clearly riddled with missing.
Okay, so we also learned from the wizard, whose name I regularly get mixed up with the other wizard,
Maggie.
Maggie, that the other wizard, whose name I regularly get mixed up with the first wizard,
Maggie.
Sephora.
Imbaran, that's the one, is actually, to my understanding, a piece of a big bad something from way back in the day who is unstable and will slowly go mad. So Magdalene has asked for our help and also the return of the things we stole from him. And Cadaverous was like, oh, that makes sense. Though I don't completely trust you, so let me go and quickly get the cleric to verify this. And while going to get the cleric, I learned that the party was just instead to murder. That's where we're at.
Nice,
remember
nice
any of
downplay
that.
at the end of that big thing. That's good. And that's just murder.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit of murder.
Well, absolutely. Picking things up where we left off, the party has notably also scryed on Aurelia, discovering Aurelia's position. Aurelia was sent a message via the spell sending or a message. I can't remember which one's which. And chose to ignore it as there were likely no characters to back up words there. So just chose to ignore that message the first time. There was no answer. But after scrying, they discover that she is likely at her old monastery where they have heard she originated from, or at least a good amount of her life has been spent. So with all that knowledge armed up, the level-headed, generous, forgiving party is about to start this next chapter of Lions and Crows. Let's get going. All right. Let's take a look at my map. Did I close everything? No, I did not, but I did minimize it, so it was missing. Yeah, so you guys were at the gates of the city. Cadaverous has just recently returned, leaving the city from Magdalene's presence. You started yelling at Cadaverous for not getting more Aurelia information, but the scrying later, after a small foray into shopping, took care of some of that worry. Maybe. Go.
We went shopping?
You did, or there
Spell
was a
components.
purchase of a very pricey spell component to scry. Was it a mirror or a crystal ball? I can't recall.
The mirror, I believe.
Probably the mirror.
A mirror.
You know, the more fragile of the two. Mirror,
So-
mirror. Oops.
What are we doing?
Well, you planned to go back in Zone of Truth.
Tio, you're looking.
A bit zoned out.
I mean, I could just punch him in the face.
You could, technically.
Counter option.
I like that idea.
Why?
I think we should vote all the
Because
active,
it's
not
more
zoned
violent.
out members.
I like violence, and it's more violent to punch someone in the face than it is to talk about truths.
Depends on the types of truth,
Framed
Jesse.
perfectly. I don't know about the truth, but
That's a motivational poster waiting to happen.
Make it.
Well, I suppose we could all go together. It would be nice to know what Aurelia would do if she weren't kidnapped right now.
He did say not to bring everybody, just to come with one person.
You know why? Because we're a threat if we're together.
It's true.
Yes. That is exactly the reason.
So I think we should all go.
you've unraveled the puzzle.
He was very specific about that being the reason.
In all fairness, I mean, if either Jesse or I went, it would be a threat alone, too.
Oh yeah, Gislin, you could go. But you could like pretend that you weren't there.
No, I think Jesse's onto it. If I go and pretend I'm not there, then somebody else can go, and we can have more than one person.
Yeah, you got me.
Look, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Jesse, you're a fine... that.
What's that?
How useful are you going to be in a negotiation?
I've seen her negotiate very well, actually.
Yeah, I've done it a ton of times. You know, usually if I don't have my weapon, I just raise my right hand. And then I raise my left hand and negotiation starts.
I think we should send Jesse.
I don't. I think the opposite.
All right, well, I mean, Tio's a bit out of it, so I don't think we can send him. You've already
guess.
been there.
Well,
I want to punch him in the face, but
Don't do that.
here we are. We can't send Aurelia because she's been kidnapped.
Tio would remind everyone that monastery.
What does that mean, Tio?
I think it's like a church.
Aurelia is back at her original monastery where she received her training.
Right.
Oh, we have that information.
Do we know where that is?
Oh, I had to go there one time. Wait, didn't I? I think I did. Is that where I served food at? She like made me work.
That was a church in Dirth, a chapel that was run by a woman named Celia.
That's what I think the monastery is.
Whose
my
family is
Shaking my heart.
the reason the
Celia.
Crimson Guard exist.
That's right. Another patron.
That's what I think the monastery is. Just a side note.
Tio corrects you. No, it is along the way, but it is closer to Dirth than it is to the capital city.
So still not in the direction that we're going.
Well, seeing as we're outside, maintaining our swords away from the city policy so far, we're outside the gate, the main gates again. Not so far from that poor dead tree over there that has recently been lightning stormed to death.
Yes, unfortunate. I mean, perhaps we send cadavers back in to negotiate, and one of us can ride out with 2 horses to get Aurelia. How many days would that take?
Having made that journey more than your fair share of times, given horses, it would take just under 2 weeks to get to where Aurelia is, and just over 2 weeks to get to where Dirth is. And that's if you're riding very, very, very hard on those horses.
So did it seem like this matters with Maggie were pressing, why don't we give him a few weeks to cool off? We'll go get Aurelia and come back. I'm sure she'll know what to do. She's good at this talking thing, fairly impartial, although maybe not after having been kidnapped. And then we send her in. I think that's a
Tio,
quick negotiation.
Tio, I'm not going to role play Tio too often, but Tio is in favor of grabbing Aurelia and making sure Aurelia is safe.
Well,
Like overly protective of Aurelia.
out of character. What is our motivation to go back if we know Aurelia's at the monastery?
It's true. I mean,
Wanting to potentially stop a great threat to everything.
so, I mean, what do we do? Just go and kill Baron?
Well, why don't we talk to him and find out?
Talk to Baron?
No, the other one.
All right. But we can do that in 2 weeks' time. None of this is evolving quickly, right? I mean, we did just get out of hell.
I don't know. I don't know how quickly it's happening.
Well,
So I wanted to talk to him.
Tio, the bookworm that Tio is, would point out that it's likely Aurelia has just recently arrived at the monastery, given the distance it was from Vin Caridin. So, I don't know if Aurelia is likely to stay there for very long, but if she's coming this way and we're going that way, it might not be as long as 2-3 weeks.
it's geometry,
Look,
Tio, yes.
You know how these things are. If we go and have this conversation with him, by the time we're done, Aurelia will be here.
That's a very long conversation. Obviously you would be involved if that were the plan.
No,
All right, I'll go talk to him.
come on then.
I'll start walking as well. I'm not gonna be sitting here by myself.
No, not you. Stay.
No, well, one person needs to stay with the swords. Probably Cadaverous.
Oh,
No,
Mm,
I already
yeah.
told- He said I'm to bring the person back.
All right, so we'll leave Tio here with the swords to wait for Aurelia, and the three of us will go.
No.
all
said
right,
to
all
bring
right,
one.
fine. That's fine. Cadavers don't want me there.
All right, we'll leave Cadaverous here. That'll send two, right?
No. He said I'm to bring one.
Right.
A specific one.
All right. Well, then why don't you take Jessie? You could use a
Fine.
little muscle. You're not very intimidating. And frankly, she could work on being more intimidating. It's good practice. Start at kind of like a low level.
I try. It just comes off, like I don't know. I'm just too great to hate.
We can't be afraid of her because we love her so much.
Well, best of luck. Find out what he wants. Don't make any promises. And don't trust anything he says.
Uh-huh.
And Jesse, if he does anything more out of line, just punch him in the face.
Don't hit him in the face. Except well,
Okay.
maybe. We'll
A
see.
quick question for Shepardab. If we have, sorry, Dora.
Yes.
If we have a few days' time, having spent just little under a day there at the monastery, would you stay at the monastery, or would you then immediately set out as?
Aurelia is pretty intent on getting to the capital city at the moment.
Okay, so back toward this side of the Silliness. And Cadavers, you're bringing Jesse
Mm-hmm.
to the manor. Now, I managed to salvage an older map, so let's
Subvert
see if this
expectations.
is still good. Like I had expectations. This is a rather rough estimation of what it'll work for a battle map if Jesse does what I think Jesse might do. I don't know
what I'm gonna do, so I don't know how you know I'm
Well, I don't know that you don't know what you're gonna do.
I don't know.
I just don't know
Wait.
how you don't know when you're gonna do what you know what you're gonna do.
Which you will do.
You're like Thanos with the snapping. You're inevitable. All right, so we're gonna put these characters
On the way,
up
I'm just
on our
gonna
map.
say to Cadaver, I don't know what we're doing here.
Well, we haven't got Tio, so we can't prove he's telling the truth. So I figure you are the least mentally fortified of all of us. If he can make you understand it, he can make anybody understand it.
Suggestion.
Well, that don't really make a whole lot of sense to me,
It
but
makes
we'll see how it
perfect
goes.
sense.
Great googly moogly. All right, so we're gonna place these characters on the map. It's including Cadavers, and it will include Jesse. Jesse May.
I'm totally gonna zone of truth this guy to the max.
Now, Cadavers, I can't help but
Zone
notice.
of truth. This right here is the zone of truth.
This here's my lie detector axe. It can only cut you if you're lying. Cadavers, I can't help but notice your token shows that you are still having physical damage hit point
I fixed this now.
incorrectness.
Mental damage, probably.
This has been fixed. All is solved.
All is well. Alrighty. And my old map looks like it has a wall where it shouldn't, but what the hey. The opening is as you can see. There's a garden on the one side, a few large tables, a large platform over there. High walls of the city guard the estate from prying neighbors that are relatively close. And as far as the main manor is from the walls, is approximately how far the additional manors of the nearby residents are from their shared wall. And indeed, the servant comes. There's two guards. Notably, there appears to be a big, like a surge of extra servants and guards now that they're now that you've returned. The guards are looking at you expectantly, without saying much because you haven't introduced yourself.
Cadavers, Jesse, you were here 5 minutes ago.
And they're like, we were told there'd be a cleric.
She's busy. He's busy.
I could be a cleric.
That's how it works.
I'm sure you could. And they send, they just yell back behind them to other servants that kind of nod, go in the house, and they're like, just a moment. Maglin is preparing.
Me too. Sorry.
And after a little bit, the servant comes out and says, this way, and one of the servants will walk all the way to the gate. I'm not going to move around all the icons. We won't be on this map too long unless the slaughter starts here. But it's just in case. It's just in case. They bring you into the house proper, and we will move the map to the house interior. I'm going to use, this is a really, really old map. I was using back when I was a young fledgling Roll20 DM. I used what was called Fog of War, and only Fog of War, to reveal things on the map. So I'll be doing that again because I haven't updated the map with all the different dynamics that are available. but we do like the new dynamics. It's just we don't get to use them right now. Anyway, back to the tokens. We'll put not Aurelia, not cadavers. There we are. Did that not move cadavers? There we go. Jesse. And the servant leading you shall be right this way. The main door of the manor is opened, and the servant leads you in. The first thing you notice as you cross the threshold into the main receiving hall is that there is 2 guards there. They look very hired. They are very, very maybe recent add-ons to the estate. They're there in very typical guard-like, like leather armor. They have a sash put over it to kind of emblazon them to this house with a big M on it from Maglin. And you notice that there's a large pedestal there. It looks like at one point he's making room for a statue to be placed right there in the receiving area. There's a door here to the north. There's a door to the east and west as well. Cadaverous, you have cramps. You can't make it up the stairs, I guess.
True, I do have cramps.
There's a coat rack here in the southern area, but the servant is leading you to this doorway here and says this will be the main dining area. Maglin was caught mid-meal. Please stow your weapons into the coat rack.
Why?
So we don't attack anybody.
I'm not going to attack anybody, but I don't want to put my weapons in there.
Put it in there anyway.
I want to.
Can I stow her in the coat rack?
He looks at her and looks at you. I don't think you can.
Jesse, if you're not going to put your axe there, could you please just leave?
Why'd you bring me? I want to eat. There's food in there.
I thought you'd be reasonable. I understand
This is
was
totally
a
reasonable.
poor decision on my part, but I was optimistic.
This is not an axe. It's a giant fork. It's how I eat my food. And if I don't make it in there, then I can't eat my food.
Cutlery will be provided.
This is a special fork. As you can see, it's bigger than a normal fork.
Yes, it's very axe-shaped. That's true.
Trust me, it puts food in my mouth more efficiently than a fork.
The 2 guards are just like literally, what am I hearing? They keep looking at each other like, what? There's no role here. You're not trying to bluff them into believing or deceive them into believing this is some sort of implement where you eat with it. It's just that they're like, so the servant's like, it's customary. Please stow your large weapons there. Don't bring them into households in the capital city.
I want to look at the door. Does it have a lock on it?
This big door?
The one they want me to put my weapon in.
No, they're saying the coat rack here, which is right here.
So there's no locking of any kind.
No, it would just be like it's like almost like an umbrella rack area with hangers for cloaks.
I want you to think this through.
Mm-hmm.
So even if there was a lock,
I was gonna break the lock and then put my stuff in there, but that was my thought. I didn't want my shit locked away.
Okay, all right.
All right, if it's just something I lean up against, I will look at these guys in the face and I'll be like, if you touch it, I will know and I will come back and I will introduce you to my giant fork.
I will show you how to eat with it. You got that?
We just kind of look at each other. Okay.
Cadaverous is giving the servant a look like, help.
The servant is like this the whole time. The guards are a little more like, what the hell's going on? But the servant's like, ah!
That goes for all three of you. And you tell anybody enters there, the same thing. I'll set it down.
And then just to be very, very, this is obvious, but it's Holly, so I'm going to say this. Does your character have any other obvious weapons on them? Obvious weapons. I'm not talking
Obvious
about
weapons.
like a boot dagger. What I'm talking about is sword on hilt.
Fork.
Another axe. I have two other axes right here.
No, that other one's in the just my rope, my lasso. No.
They would look at that strangely, but they wouldn't necessarily consider that a kind of a weapon.
Neither
They maybe
would
should.
we.
So there's no other obvious weapons.
No.
Cadaverous,
not
what about
obvious
you?
ones.
Cadaverous left his sword behind. He has a bow, which you would leave if they wanted him to.
They would assume that you would, as
Cadaverous
it is
leaves
a
the bow.
large type weapon.
Bow would be left.
Excellent. Then the servant, hurriedly opens up the door to get out of the way. And this is the room it reveals using my favorite reveal area method called reveal area. Bloop. And more here, down into here. Sure. And Maglin, a few servants and other guards are here. Jesse, before you go charging over all the
I
table.
was just gonna go sit down. Expect some food.
Well, as you're entering, so it's not quite a cinematic, but as you're entering, Maglin will stand. There has been a bit of food placed at just his end of the table.
That's why I was going over there.
And the servants, the guards, they all it's almost as if they could hear the conversation from just now and the whole fork thing. And Maglin's like, we spent 2 weeks more than that in a carriage. I believe, Cadaverous, that is not TOA.
You are very correct. TOA is mentally busy. So,
What strange contrast.
I have more Jesse.
She is mentally not busy at all.
I would like to recall asking you to leave behind the two that were most quick to anger, including this one.
I
You know,
understand.
Oh, well, look, it's happening now.
oh no, I'm just saying, if you feed me, I don't get mad, and it looks like you got food down there. So, like, if you just share with me, I'll be fine.
All right.
But I want the food off your plate.
This chair would be more slightly away from him, so move one to the right if you're sitting in it.
But I can't reach your food if I sit over there.
Just like
Well,
out
you
of
would have to
melee
lord
range.
over him.
Are you gonna
if you're
give me?
so you're not going to sit down, you're just going to where his food is on the plates.
No, I want to sit down.
Well, then you need to step one to the side.
But can I get some of that?
Yeah, one moment.
All right, I'll just sit right here then.
Oh, okay, to the side. I just meant one square because that square is.
I can't be in that
right.
square.
You could be in any of
I
those.
can't
squares.
occupy this seat.
Ah!
I could sit on either arm.
As the map is not exact, as is evidence from the oldness of the map, it's fine. He goes, I will have the servants provide some food, but do indeed tell me, how did they take the news, Cadaverous? Come also sit.
Cadaverous is set.
over there at the
Wait,
head, the other head of the.
We'll go sit over there.
Pass the salt.
If you hold down Option, you can leave the grid.
That's true.
When I was moving left and right, it was because I was holding down Control and doing it, and holding down Shift and doing it, and then finally holding down Alt and doing it, which was the correct one.
Alt is the way.
Yeah. They took it. Full stop.
I'm sorry. You muttered that almost as if you didn't want me to hear.
Look, I brought the easiest to anger ones because they are the least cooperative.
We had a discussion how they would trust your word and not mine. And so you were going to try to provide truth and witness to that and bring your cleric and have me scrutinized.
Unfortunately, the cleric is busy. And
Ugh.
I realize that they don't actually trust my word. They only trust their own word. So I bring you Jesse in the hope that if you could convince the least intelligent among us, maybe that will mean that, somehow that will mean Gislin is on
He's
board.
very much staring at Jesse. As soon as you said the least intelligent, he's like, seeing if there's a reaction.
It's okay. She doesn't understand she's being insulted.
I'm sorry. I just don't see those people moving to go get me food. So, like, are they going to get it or do I have to reach over to your plate to get some?
You want her to micro the fucking tokens each step along their chain?
I was about to give the command, for they are my servants. And just to let you know, it is rather rude to demand.
Yeah, but your job is to convince me that you're not a psycho. So
No, that is a task, not my job.
Right. Step one is feeding me. That's what I said before. So that's why I'm, demanding.
All right. Well, I'll have them clear this food, and we'll have out some fresh food in a bit. Let's see if our conversation
perfectly good
can't
food right
fill. That's not good enough.
Holly, they're gonna spit in your food.
Jesse don't care.
It's like, this tastes like chewing tobacco? What is that? The servants, a few of them come, grab the food away, and he's like, prepare something new for 3 people instead and try to do a better job. And bring out some wines. Ale.
Oh, yeah.
Bring out the servants' drinks as well. And they disappear. The servants all go running off. They disappear through a curtain here. Oh, I forgot to reveal correctly. The memories of not doing this right. The servants all kind of duck through that curtain down to what appears to be a hallway behind it. Select move. There we go. And we'll just move them in that direction. Doop. The guards remain, and he goes, cadavers, how much does this one comprehend of what was been discussed in great detail?
I don't remember anything. Just so you know.
Between 0 and 2%.
I know which end of that spectrum, I believe. Okay. Jesse, try to understand that you and your companions have stolen from me, and I was a bit irate.
What are you talking about?
The driver of my carriage reported you making off with the item. It's a gem. You're well aware of it. He even said that you set off the arcane trap and made a bit of a spectacle.
I just have one question. He did. Well, hold on. I have a statement first. He didn't know what was in the box, So how does he know that we took something from the box?
The box is now empty, and I verified that. That's true. It's gone.
I guess I'll put something else in the box.
Yes, Maglin looked in the box, and he knew what was in the box originally. Huh, well, there's an item in this box, but it's not the one I left. I guess things are fine.
Okay, well, all right, you got me. So you're all right. I get it.
I'm just stating that this is not the way to behave amongst allies and peers. I've come to believe that your rise to power has been nothing short of meteoric, something that rivals my own even, which is of great accomplishment. You should be very proud of what you've been able to do, despite your vast disadvantages.
Disadvantage?
So, overcoming those is credit to you, I suppose, in some strange way.
Do you want to see my dragon tongue? It's a bit decayed, but you can still tell it's a dragon tongue.
I'm very interested in discussing the issue at hand, and then we can talk about the frivolities of whatever you're trying to, some sort of pork meal, I'm assuming.
No, it's a dragon's tongue. I cut it out of a dragon.
Indeed. Well, that aside, Cadaverous is... Did Cadaverous even tell you what the concerns of the day are?
Something about the end of the world. I don't know.
That's rather incorrect, but there is a grave bit of danger for many people. The entirety of our populace, the citizens of this great country, and the neighboring populaces of those that are nearby, including wild elf tribes or nomadic whatevers, including the high elves in the woods and their self-proclaimed kingdom, including anyone that could be caught in the wrath of what appears to be a very powerful and now increasingly unstable situation.
And you finding these gems from the deer bone makes that not bad anymore. What?
Okay. Do you know how I use
Are you going to bring
magic?
that dragon city back to life?
No.
Are we going back in time?
No, guessing doesn't help anybody.
Okay. All right.
There's nobody more capable of understanding and correctly protecting those gems from then manifesting yet another incarnation of this rather dangerous demigod, for lack of a better term.
What's his name?
Or Dan, I thought you guys knew that. Oh, I'm sorry. Cadaverous, I'm sure you knew that.
I did.
Yes.
Or, hold on, that sounds familiar.
Because I explained it to you.
What? Can you say it one more time? I wasn't sure if I heard you right. Or Dan? Or, hold on, where do I know that name from?
How do you travel?
Remember, you have to convince me so I can tell the others that you're trustworthy.
I'm not sure you can retain it long enough to tell the others.
Anytime I tried to get away, she lassoes me back.
Did you say lasso?
Lasso or
It's
lasso?
What's
not a
happening?
lasso.
It's spreading.
Sacre bleu, I am lassoed.
It's spreading. Oh, okay.
Isn't
It's
the
a
act
task
of doing
you
it
set
lasso?
before
But
me.
it's a lasso.
Even though we agreed that it
Something
would
like
be a
that.
zone of truth and it wouldn't be this comedic. Fine.
This is the best zone of truth I've ever been in.
She falls out of her chair.
What has happened?
The trees drag her to the ground.
So this is going well.
So we're going to take a small break for Holly to come back around and be able to breathe again.
Aurelia's just strolling the grounds of the monastery.
Thought you were on
You
your way
would've-
to the city as
You would
fast as possible.
you would have
Well, no, I thought you guys were.
Killing time until you
I thought
arrived
this was
to
the
solve
same
this
day as the scrying.
It is, but that was the morning of the day
Oh,
you were about
then
to
yes,
depart.
I'm on the road.
mess. Chop chop.
All right, ordain. That's also an act, right? To ordain somebody.
We had her for a moment.
Should have brought Tio.
Would have been quieter.
Well, between the incoherent insults from one of your party and the incoherent whatever this is from the other, I don't know how to impress upon her the significance of what I've told you. This appears to be an exercise in futility.
Now he's getting it.
Now, why don't you take your friend, go back and meet up with the rest of them?
Not convinced yet. I don't know.
Yes, I think I'm withdrawing my request. I'm going to be seeking out. I guess my first task is how to handle your return of my stolen goods. I don't suppose they gave it to you to give to me in good faith.
You know.
The gem.
They didn't, but maybe, just maybe, probably not, but maybe we can get it back to you. Maybe. I'll try.
Well, that's going to be my next task because I think I'm withdrawing my request for help.
Whoa, you were asking for our help? I've totally misunderstood everything that's going on.
That is no short understatement.
All right, so hold on.
This
Let
is
me
what
just-
you need to know. It is dangerous to have that in your possession.
Why? Will it explode?
If handled improperly or given enough time or the right catalyst, you will have another manifest of a deity. Minor deity, but nothing short of well beyond mortal means to take care of.
And this deity
There's no A in it.
is dangerous because it wants
To be whole again. It is a fractured deity.
okay.
No, you made me say it.
And if it's whole again, what is it gonna do if it's whole again?
It cannot be whole again. Some of its parts have already been destroyed irrevocably
Well, if it can't be whole again, why are you afraid?
because some of the manifests are still unstable. You can't
So
destroy just part of a deity. You have to destroy all of it.
So you want the gem to destroy it,
Correct.
and you want how many other gems to be destroyed? How many you got left?
As far as I know, that is the last gem that hasn't manifested.
So this is the only one, and we got it. Okay, that's good.
Nope, you're missing one small important part. Try to remember this part is a big one.
It's unstable.
No, I mean clearly, but there are already, as far as I can tell, 4 manifests.
So there's 4 mini demigods around town and city. And if they're all put back together again, we'll have big demigod.
No, they can't be put back together again.
I-
They're just
okay.
going. Just get that gem to me. I can keep it safe. You can't even string together a sentence.
I can't tell if Holly is the greatest role player of all time or just a fucking just Swiss cheese brain of a human being.
There's no difference, okay? All right. Okay. So I've lost my train of thought now. Oh yeah. Okay, question. Imbaran, your ex. don't know
No,
what you-
I am Maglin. You don't even know who you're speaking
No,
with.
I'm asking you a question. Imbaran, that
No,
other guy.
Maglin.
I know you're Maglin, but I'm asking about Imbaran. That's his name, right? Cadaver
Let's
Imbaran.
proceed. It was
Okay.
fun.
You like him or you don't like him?
It's not a matter of preference.
I think
Yeah.
she's asking, is he bad news or good news?
Yeah.
Can he be stabilized?
Does he? Well, how
That's
is
an
he?
interesting question. Something
he
I intend to
unstable?
research at great length, given a chance. You know what's not possible? Something that's already unstable. He's going there now. If we can't beat it, then yes, we will have to destroy him.
Hold on. All right. So, Imbaran is working
Before you-
against the gems, and you're working
you-
for the gems.
Before you talk, Jesse, let me just interject. I and we have seen
What you don't
Imbaran-
smell is iocane powder.
We have seen Imbaran
Mhm.
unstable at times.
Have we?
Yes.
When Gislin was impersonating him? Is that what you mean?
No. But usually, when he's around, the things we have.
Imbaran is one of the beneficial aspects of this fractured deity. So he has not caused havoc where he goes yet. He will, given enough time. But before that, there are other manifests that I do not know its demeanor.
As a gesture of good faith from me and the party, a bit of information you might not be aware of is that Imbaran or Dan created those swords we used to open the portal.
Yes, clearly.
Both good and bad.
Yes, he confided in me about that.
Yes. When he's around them, he seems to get more unstable.
He did mention.
And he is aware of this and is trying to keep us away. So I do not think he is malicious as much as you say, unstable.
I'm waiting for the part I didn't know yet. This water is tepid.
The part you don't know is that I'm really hungry. I don't know. I just made that up. Anyway, so isn't Barton good or bad?
Please return the gem. I will handle the rest.
How do I keep it stable?
You don't.
But if I were to somehow do it, how would I do it?
You could not.
But like, if I could, how would I?
That's conjecture. That's not necessary.
Do I wrap it in a blanket and keep it in a box? Is that how you keep it stable?
It's not helpful. These guesses are not helpful. Just like before, they weren't helpful.
Do I do magic on it?
What you do, the best way to keep things safe is to return them to me.
But what are you going to do with it? Are you going to destroy
Keep
it?
them safe.
Them, there's only one.
And keep it safe.
Are you lying to me?
No, I have no cause to.
All right.
And if I wanted to, you wouldn't know. So.
I want to see if you're lying to me. Hold on. Just stay still right there. Look me in the eye. Is he lying to me?
As a plot hook D&D character, this NPC is immune to any kind of rolling to vibe. So, therefore, you don't know and have to come up with your own idea.
All right. Well, this is how I see it. It's been like 10 minutes and you haven't fed me yet, so I don't trust you.
Yes, they've just started. The kitchen's busy.
Yeah, but you had perfectly good food on your plate, so
No,
you could have
it
given
was
to
getting
me.
cold and It was
Your
lesser
standards are too high.
quality.
I don't know if I can convince them to give you the gem back, so you should just tell me how to keep it stable so that way destruction doesn't come to the world.
Okay, I will. Return the gem to me is the way to keep it stable.
All right, I'll tell them that, but, you know, I don't think they're going to agree with what you just said.
I 100% do not expect, I should say, any kind of cooperation given this conversation.
All right. Let's eat.
Okay. I'm sure the first course will be done in about 20 minutes.
Oh boy, 20 more minutes of this. All right. Cadaverous?
Jesse, what about all of this makes you uncertain or not trusting?
I don't know. We won't give me a straight answer about
Like about what?
Embarin. I just asked that one question and I still haven't gotten an answer.
Which question?
Is he good or bad?
He's neither. He is good in the sense that he doesn't want to do harm to all, but he's bad in the sense that if he destabilizes further, he could do bad things.
So how do you keep him stable? Do you knock him out? Do you want me to knock him out?
No, it's something we don't fully understand and need to look into. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that he hasn't given you a straight answer. It's that
he doesn't know the answer. Okay, I get it. I don't know a lot of answers, so I don't answer them. Sometimes I just say I'm hungry.
Okay. So outside of that, what makes you not trust him?
He won't tell me how to keep the gem stable. He just says, give it back to me.
Probably because he doesn't trust our abilities in the arcane sense to stabilize the gem safely.
And you're not offended by that?
Not at all. I am a bard, not a wizard. You're a barbarian, not a wizard.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, sometimes if things are a little shaky, if you just wrap it up tight, it'll be fine.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's, you know, just a trick my mama taught me. If you just wrap it up tight, it feels all comfy and it won't explode.
Comfy.
Jesse, just like I would not pretend to know anything about rodeos or horses. Can you accept that maybe you do not always know what is best with powerful and dangerous arcane items?
Sure, but I can still like get a sense of things, and I'm just sensing that someone's not telling me the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So somebody's got to help me.
Well, as if there was a moment of just pure and utter unbelievableness happening, Maglin just, and then he calls his servant over and does a quick whisper, and the servant nods and starts to leave the room.
Bye. I see. This is why I don't trust him.
Opens up the big door, closes the big door.
You think we're still gonna get our food?
Well, just a bit of patience. I've already half eaten, so I'm in no rush. I hope they do a better job.
To be honest, Jesse, I think the fact that he's feeding you at all, considering, you know, the fact you say you don't trust him, you don't want to help him, is a testament to, you know, good faith.
Well,
the servant returns and says, I hate to interrupt, but we've received a message that the rest of your party has requested you back at your meeting place.
that's highly unusual.
Then the servant heads toward the kitchens.
That don't sound right to me. I think he's just kicking us out without getting food.
That's fine then. Let's go.
No, that's not fun. Because, I explained my whole trust situation in my very first line that I spoke while walking up to my chair.
Jesse,
And there's
Jesse,
that, if you feed me, I won't get mad. And
Jesse, if you received food this very second, would that make you trust him?
As long as it's not poisoned.
So all that it would have taken this whole time
I said it
to
the
get
first,
his trust
the first thing I said when I got here.
is to be given food.
Yeah.
Then why, when I asked, why don't you trust him, did you give me all of these other things to answer when you could have just asked for food?
Well, I was just curious. I was doing what Tio would do in that situation. That's ask a lot of questions. So once I got the questions out of the way, the food would be here, and then I could eat and I could leave. But there was a bunch of him haul in the middle.
Jesse,
He just watches this, almost unbelieving.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go, Jesse. Come on, up you get.
So you don't want my help anymore?
Correct. I've told you I'm going to withdraw the request for help.
All right. Well,
You return back to me what I was in possession of, and then we don't have to have any kind of strange conflict in the future.
all right. Well, I guess we'll see you in 2 weeks, and I will remember that you didn't feed me, and I'll get up and I'll leave.
Fantastic.
Sorry, Canaverous does not elaborate further and leaves.
And you're both able to retrieve any kind of weapons you stowed and are able to leave the campus, and the front door is then also closed behind you. The outside remains with a few guards and some servants, but upon seeing you, they make sure the gate's open for you and then close it behind you as you exit the premises altogether. Entering back into the noble quarter of the main city, the capital city of Almiron, here in Estad. You find yourself once again in the bustling, if not a little bit snooty streets of the nobles' quarters, as carriages and whatnot are. Can you hear the clip-clop of horses, etc., etc. And a banner of ridiculousness flies over the party once again. It won't take you long to traverse the city and get back out to where Ghislaine TOA await.
Aside from not getting food, I think that went well.
What?
As what could be the most pointless conversation I've ever had just happened. That was great. It was great.
So,
Like trying to watch a movie with a child who vaguely comprehends the subject of the movie.
No, that's Dora. She's looking for things. Oh wait, we have a person named Dora. I was thinking Dora Explorer. Oh well. All right, so that's Blue, and he looks for clues. That was my joke, but
Why?
Actually, I was a boomer
Why is he looking for
first, so-
clues? Why is he blue? What's a
that's
clue?
Blue. Yeah.
He didn't
So-
feed me, so I don't trust him, and
He
that's all
was-
you need to know.
He was incredibly reasonable. He tried to explain, but Jesse is a fool. A fool.
wouldn't feeding guests have been reasonable?
He was feeding Jesse. The problem is that Jesse is impatient.
No,
The
Let me
servants
tell
were
you the real
preparing
story.
Food for him. Huh.
he had food on his plate, and he had them take it away instead of just giving it to me so I could trust him.
And
And then during our conversation that took 20 minutes, there was no food.
definitely longer than
I
that.
didn't even get an ale.
It
It'll
took
take 20 minutes to pour an ale.
it took 10 minutes.
All
You
right.
were incredibly rude throughout. After which point he realized he doesn't want your help anymore because you are a crazy person.
Well,
Yeah,
we
he
don't-
doesn't want our help anymore, but we still have the gem. It's unstable, so we should wrap it in blankets and put it in a box.
What do you mean it's unstable?
I don't know. He wouldn't tell me.
The gems are unstable, much like the individual demigod split people. It will continue to get more unstable until something bad happens.
I mean, if it's going to cause something bad, why don't we just destroy it?
I feel like this was explained, but I don't remember the details.
All right, so let's just destroy it then. Fair enough.
I said, "Do you want us to destroy it?" He said, "No, I want to keep it safe." So I get mixed vibes from him, you know.
It sounds like he has
You wanna
some
destroy it,
ulterior
does he wanna keep
motive
it safe?
with
Well,
it.
I think the ulterior motive is to research and understand it, and hopefully find a way to restabilize something rather than simply destroying it. Because if he can restabilize the gem, then he can restabilize Embarn.
We can gain the power behind it.
Well, what's the problem with that? We try and gain the power behind everything we do at every point. We take each new magical weapon, we use that for our power. So why is it any different for him? It was his item. How would you like it if somebody stole your bow
So
or my sword?
remind me, if he can keep this item safer than anyone, why do we have it?
Yeah.
It's
That's
not
a good
about
one.
keeping it safer than anyone. It's about being able to make it stabilized from unstabilized.
This is what I got out of it. If we
Yeah.
destroy it, a demigod cannot appear out of that gem.
No, what? Oh God.
So there's a creature inside the gem.
Well, not inside of it, but like, I don't know. Well, maybe it is inside of it.
I think the
I'm
only
not
way
sure.
we know for sure.
Look,
if he
we
wants
should
it
just-
back, let's smash it and give it back to him.
Just give him back the gem.
He didn't say what condition it had to be in, so that's a
Tio
great
doesn't
idea.
think you should give the gem back, but Tio also thinks it's really important that this is not important and that they go get Aurelia and make sure Aurelia's okay.
Well, we can
We
talk.
should just give back the gem.
Why?
Let's see what Aurelia has to say.
Nope.
She'll have a fresh perspective.
Yes.
Can't wait to have this conversation over again.
All right, there's like 3 other demigods. I like to call them demigods. And this will make a 4th, and then he'll become whole. Did you know about that?
We had another one of these crystals that we destroyed, right?
Mhm.
With Dearbone?
I think it got destroyed.
It fell and shattered and
Yes.
stopped glowing.
Did we do that, or did Dearbone do that?
Both, because we killed Dearbone.
I do recall that we gave the crystal to Dearbone, and then it was destroyed. So that
I like how
to me
there's no
says-
reference for anyone watching. What the hell's a deer bone?
Look, you have to understand that
So
if we destroy the gem, it's very likely we will have to kill Embarn.
Well, if he's dangerous, then that's the price we have to pay.
Right, but wouldn't you prefer to?
So wait, hold on. If this thing persists and could destabilize further, which is going to destabilize Embarn, then if this is causing the destabilization, why don't we just destroy it and end
Well,
that cause?
I don't think the gem is causing the destabilization. I think the two are destabilized separately from each other.
Do we agree that there's a whole bunch of information that's being withheld from us?
Uh-huh. I agree.
All right, well, let's go get Aurelia, so we're at least back to full strength.
He has already packed all the horses.
I don't
All right,
know. I don't
let's
know
go.
if this is being withheld as much as we're not getting to that point of the conversation. Because
I don't think
everybody I
that's
take
true.
in there, Jesse, is a
Did we buy a horse
Ooh.
for Aurelia? That's Tio's word.
Do
Does
we buy
Aurelia
what?
get a horse?
She Naruto runs.
But she doesn't have to.
I think she likes it.
Yeah, but like after a
I
day.
just assume that she rides on the back of your horse.
No. Tio's okay with that.
All right, fair enough. I mean, we
I
could
think we should,
buy her a horse.
I mean, if you want, but I think that we should just kill the crystal.
I agree with that.
The dog.
with zero understanding of the possible negative side effects of it.
Right.
What
well,
negative side? I asked and he wouldn't tell me. So how am I supposed to come up with an answer if he won't give me the answers?
If he wants our trust in this, you'd think he'd be a little bit more divulgent of information.
I think he's incredibly divulgent.
All right, do you have some sort of connection with him or something? I mean,
No, I'm just not
why
a...
do you like him
Wow,
so
this
much?
conversation's hard to have on horseback.
Let's just cut scene back to Aurelia, so we can
Aurelia, ahoy!
have this conversation. Is everybody?
As you take to the road and the days start passing, Tio, once again, freaking out at every 2 to 3 minutes, well, probably hours. Do you think Aurelia's okay? And starts overloading the cantrip for message. Aurelia, are you okay? Often throughout the day. Where's your position? Where are you at? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Finally, after about a week's worth of travel for both parties, you know you're very close, and through that magic, you're able to meet up with no ill effect. The party has now been reunited with Aurelia, who likely has a story to tell after TOA tries to smother you with hugs.
Alright, enough of that.
Aurelia, tell us your story.
We thought you were kidnapped.
No! First of all, sorry, that was too much. I can't.
Why did you think I was kidnapped?
Well, because Magdalene led us to believe that he had you held hostage.
Tio told us.
Well, I wasn't.
Well, he didn't say that you weren't.
What
so
if you
he-
didn't know that you
Busy.
were?
You were busy doing what? Perhaps you tell us what else is going on. What happened after we went through the portal?
Well, you went through the portal, and then we just kind of sat there for a little while, and I tried to talk with Arabeth. She's not the most forthcoming conversational partner, but I think by the end she was warming up to me. And then
Tio's like, that's amazing. Sorry.
and then we started getting attacked by dragon devils. Lots of them.
We
And
did as
they popped through the portal, and then we were trying to deal with those, and then they started bringing other ones over, and it grew exponentially, and they spread out through Vin Caridin, and then I spent the next 48 hours trying to clear them back out again.
Why didn't you just close the portal like that was the plan last time?
We did. It didn't happen immediately. We were trying to keep it open for you, and we didn't know how regularly they were going to be coming through. Magdalene took a bit of a hit. Arabeth and I were handling it right up until we weren't, and then
Can
Magdalene
you
closed the
describe
portal.
that part a little bit more?
Which
Really cinema.
Magdalene getting hit.
Yeah, I want to know. Was it like in the head?
Face? Yeah.
No, it was he kind of got
Groin.
hit in the shoulder. He did go kind of ass over tea kettle though. It was kind of funny.
Good, good.
Where and there did he find a gem and then send off the carriage guy all fast like?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, all right. Did someone
So-
else want to?
Devils come through the portal. Eventually the portal gets closed, I'm assuming?
Yes.
We never came back that way, so we didn't know.
Yes. Well, it was either that or get even more overrun by dragon devils than we already were.
You should have tried the dragons.
No, thank you.
So you fought off the devils. Great, kudos.
Thanks.
Everything's safe in Vin Caridin, and then you took a holiday at the monastery?
Well, no, I mean, Magdalene kind of fucked off with the swords before I really knew what had happened
In a suspicious way?
in an asshole way.
Oh, we didn't get those back.
Yes, that was one of the things I said to ask about cadavers.
I got distracted.
Sorry, let me just run through that conversation really quick. Hey, Magdalene, I know that we stole that gem from you, and we're gonna keep it. We got no swords anyway. No, we
Well, they're
can't.
not. They're not supposed to be in the city anyway. He don't know that.
He does. We told him.
Oh. I forgot about
So
sword.
back to your story, Aurelia.
Like I said, Jardine and I spent like a good 48, and Erebeth spent a good 48 hours trying to get all of the Abishai back out of Vin Caridin. And then by the end of it, I mean, Maglin had fucked off. I didn't know where he was. I didn't know where any of you were. I had no way to get back. I had no way to get to you or to help you in any way from this side. And so I started working my way back towards the capital. And on the way, I met somebody. I met somebody who'd recently joined my old monastery and had gotten a bit lost. And I was near enough by that I figured that I could take the day to get him back where he belonged. Then I got back on the road and came towards you.
Well, here we are.
Here we are.
Don't think that puts me any more in favor of Maglin than I wasn't already.
I don't think that Maglin is malicious. I think that Maglin is a dick and has his...
I got my dick message.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. I think our party are sort of dicks as well.
I agree with that.
Sure, but I don't.
Well, yeah.
I think that I think that Maglin has his eye out for his own power and will do anything, and will take the steps that he thinks is most conducive to maintaining and adding to that power.
And if his pursuit of power endangers those around him...
Well, what about our own pursuit of power, endangering those around us? You know,
Who have we endangered?
Perhaps everybody by having a unstabilized gem that we don't
so let's
understand.
Just smash it now. Tio,
Yeah.
can I have the gem?
You mean smash the gem with no idea what that will do and possibly endanger everybody?
Well, we're in the middle
Is
of
this,
nowhere.
is this an ego thing for you, Ghislaine?
No. We've destroyed one of these. It had no consequences. We have evidence. And
That's
if
not
Maglin
evidence,
wants
that's coincidence.
If Maglin wants to have it to further his power, he's already keeping things that are potentially destabilizing Imbaran in the city and are going to tempt him. He has some sort of history with that man, of which he hasn't been overly divulgent, aside from his suspicion.
Ghislaine, you had every opportunity to come and ask these questions yourself, but you sent Jesse in instead of you.
That's because you didn't want all three of us going. If we all three went, we might have went further.
We don't know what trying to destroy the gem will do.
Well,
from what you told me, which I'm just presuming that all of you told me, because if we have to have this conversation about the gems one more time, I am going to scream out of character. But from what you've
scream out of character.
From what you've told me, if there are 4 aspects of Ordon manifested, one of them is Imbaran, and there's 3 others, but we don't know when those 3 came into existence. So for all we know, when we thought that we destroyed the other gem, that might have been something becoming manifest all on its own. We have no idea what we did to that gem may have done.
Correct.
Because all we know is that we handed it to a skeleton, and then the skeleton exploded.
Correct.
And that's the sum total of our knowledge. Exploded.
So, I do recall you having a vision after our bout with that embrambled dragon.
Yes, and you took my sword away.
Rose Bramble.
Wizard doing something with something somewhere?
Yes.
Is that connected to any of this? And what about the swords that we all have that Imbaran seems to want so much?
I mean, I suspect that it is all connected. I mean, it's you don't come across a piece of forgotten history about dragons and dragon swords and then continually run into dragons and dragon swords and then have them all not be connected. That's not how life works.
So, if it stands to reason that Imbaran wants these swords, would it stand to reason that the other manifestations of this also want the swords?
Well, if Imbaran is under the impression that he created them, when in fact it wasn't him, it was Ordon, then yes, all of them would probably be the same.
He is Ordon.
They're all manifest. Exactly. So are the other ones.
So, we could just lure Imbaran out from somewhere with the swords and kill him.
I asked if I could just knock him unconscious and if that would help in
They said no.
Well, you have to consider that it's probably.
I have an optics concern here.
I have a concern that the party was very quick to talk about the morality and somebody's, good behavior, but is very willing to kill somebody for the crime of being unstable.
Not somebody, it's something. We've just heard that this is manifest of a demigod or something.
Exactly.
Well, how is
But
that making him
Imbaran is a
any less of a
person.
person? Yes.
Well,
exactly.
if
A demigod a dozen.
so,
First of all, Imbaran is a person. Second of all, Imbaran
Agreed.
is the wizard of the land. I don't have a third of all, but I'm sure if you give me like 30 seconds, I'll come up with something. My third of all is this is a bad idea.
well, if he's dangerous or has the risk of becoming dangerous, then he's more of a bane to the land than he is a boon.
Ghislaine, you could apply that logic to anybody here.
You could
Would
apply
you not
that logic to all of us.
I agree completely. And honestly, how we've been acting is quite dangerous.
So you're saying
I've been a law-abiding citizen. What did all of you do?
if we just simply hand this gem
We stole a gem.
back
Oh,
to
don't do that.
Maglin, then what?
Yeah. Then what?
What do you mean then what?
Yeah,
So-
what happens?
Say, best case scenario, we hand it back to him, he does further research, and what?
Well,
Reverses the destabilization so that Imbaran is not going to turn into a maniac demigod, and then
I'm a demigod.
what? He just uses that to further his own aims? He was willing to
there
leave
is
Aurelia and
another-
the other three in sounds like Sea of Devils and just head out just to ensure that his prize made it home successfully.
Or
N-
alternatively, to ensure that the swords did not fall into the hands of the devils.
Precisely. I mean, there is another option here.
We literally brought swords into hell and it wasn't a problem.
We didn't
What
bring
the-
the evil
Evil
swords.
ones.
What's our other option?
The other option is that we go to the king.
Does one simply go to the king?
Not really.
Do you have to have
Hello.
paperwork to go to the king?
I'm just saying.
If you
That's that
feed me,
paperwork.
King, I'll be fine.
I'm going to be honest with you. I am uncertain of our ability to see the king.
I'm just saying that if your concern is giving Maglin power, we go for Maglin's head.
Or we simply take away all of the toys that Magnum needs to have power,
And set off a power struggle with him.
which we will undoubtedly win.
Why do
We're
we care?
stronger than him.
Why do we care?
But we're only stronger.
has
We're only
power?
stronger than him in feats of arms.
What other?
Why-
How
why
else
are we-
would you be stronger than him?
Why are we even considering him an enemy?
Because
I'm
he's
not
not-
saying
he
I'm not
didn't feed
saying he's
me.
an enemy.
He's
I'm
not an
saying that
enemy yet.
if we continue down the path we are going down right now, he will be. Because we will
agree.
have forced him to be.
I agree
And
completely.
what I'm trying to point out here is that while we may be able to best him in feats of arms, there are other fields of battle where he outmatches us by leaps
Also-
and bounds.
Also, he has the lore on his side.
Yes.
We stole from him.
Well, he technically has
Law, the
items
social
that belong
battlefield,
to us
the
as
court.
well.
Yeah, he just took our stuff, so we took his.
So
Right.
if we're
But,
giving
okay.
him the gem back, we trade it for the swords.
Alternatively, what if we say to him, we will give you the gem if we can be a part of the process of destabilizing it?
I don't trust it. We could just be playing into his hand. If we take the swords
He's-
away from him, which he so very happily carted off,
Well, we can get the
leaving
swords too. That's fine.
Aurelia
I would just
to-
like to be a part of this.
I don't think he's gonna agree to that because he says that I can't keep it stable. It doesn't matter if I know how to. I can't do it.
What? I feel like I missed something here.
Yeah, he's not gonna agree for us to be a part of the destabilization.
No, I don't mean in terms of you, Jesse, are going to be casting the spell.
Yeah, I know. Me
mean-
too. Do that. I'm just saying. I don't think he wants us to be a part of it, and I don't think he's gonna agree to that.
The reason why he doesn't want us to be a part of it, Jesse, is Because while we were there, trying to negotiate with him, you started acting like a psychopath.
No, you told me that he had to convince me to convince the others to give back the gem, and he didn't do that because he didn't feed me. So I don't know what you're really asking from me.
I don't know either.
Now, Cadavers, just a quick question.
Yes.
Why was your negotiating party, Jesse?
Well, I wanted Gislin to come, but Gislin insisted that Jesse go.
I wanted both of us to go, but Cadavers insisted that we not all go.
Lady insisting was that neither Jesse or I went.
Yeah.
I see that went well.
We wanted Tio to go, but Tio was busy. So Gislin was the backup option, but she didn't want to go. So
He is off at the side going, my wife, where is she?
I also thought that by me going, you were also going to come along, but you were going to be silent.
Magdalene didn't want both of them to go,
Maybe I
because
was.
Magdalene didn't trust two hot-headed, prone to violence individuals to be loose in his house.
All right,
Justifiably so.
let's
We
set this
did a
aside.
zone of truth, and it didn't work out very well.
I see that. Look, there's 3 options. 1, we unbend our pride, we work with Maglin. 2, if there's genuine concerns about working with Maglin or the power that Maglin is trying to accumulate, we try to go over Maglin's head.
2,
I forget what option 3 was, but I had one.
go to the king.
That was option 2. I think option 3 might be that we just try to murder him.
So good. It's amazing.
Well,
I hate this part
These
so much.
moments. What was option 2 then?
Who's on first?
we know that the swords are dangerous and will destabilize our good magical friend. So we need to remove
Maybe we
those
should
from
all
the
just get in
capital.
one room and discuss it.
He brings the swords out of the capital and meets us at a location of his choosing, and we will trade the gem for the swords. What happens after that can be up for negotiation at that time.
Fine.
The great long road that you stand next to is it's not empty. There's carts that go back and forth, merchant caravans, basic travelers, and a lot of people local that use it as one interstate exit up to get to their friend's house. And through this conversation, off to the side, enough distance where you don't feel that they're prying eyes and ears, you finally see, in a brief bit of timing, is the Magi Imbaran on the road facing the party. He's alone, just as you left him, almost exactly in the courtyard, and he begins to stride forward. We're going to take a small break here.
Concern.
I have several concerns. Just how much time has passed?
About a week since you've been at the for each party to been at the starting point of their journey. The party with horses has gone a bit further along, but not much. So it's about a week's travel either way to have met up, close to halfway in between. But this is a good point for the break. And then I can deal with certain messages as well, as I'm now getting those. What?
We'll be back in 5 minutes for the thrilling conclusion of Lions and Cows.
Season finale. Maybe series finale.
That just made no sense.
Hey, thank you all for not walking away from the stream as we come back here. Because that's what you would do on the internet. You wouldn't just walk, you would e-walk.
They won't go Rogue One on us like that.
No, definitely not. It should be good.
Yes.
So,
Stormtroopering their way out of here.
let's start again with a new hope for the second half of this episode.
So it's the party. Once again, has coherence and can
I don't know
see
about that.
coherence of thought. How's that? You guys can have your
Nope.
own little. Oh, that's true. That's a bit much. It's a bit much. Either way, you all see Imbaran striding forth off the trail to where you've just taken a bit of a, you've brought your horses to the side. It's only like 50 or 60 feet, but it was more than enough to have private conversations and whatnot. And now, following the same trail that you've pushed into the high grass, Imbaran is walking and is now addressing the party. I have a request. Can you see me?
What is the request?
There seems to be how do I put this? This may seem incredible, but there seems to be another me.
Oh,
Right.
Oh boy.
surprise! That's incredible.
I take it that you have come to the same conclusion somehow.
No.
Yes.
Yes. How did you find out this thing we didn't know?
While doing my best not to directly try to research,
You
That
indirectly
which
tried
I've-
to research, didn't you?
I suppose you could put it that way, but more of a what is safe to know without directly knowing the big part. So I looked around, looked for those who might be involved. I keep finding evidence of my own hand in things, and I ask you to investigate. If I were to investigate myself, I dare say I might be exposed to something that is important.
Right.
Yeah, probably don't do that.
So you walked all the way out here.
Oh no, this is just an illusion.
Oh, okay.
You should really come here.
No. Right.
Oh,
Okay. Right. I've
Jesse
seen.
cast summon Archmage.
I have seen. I have seen so many shows.
what's a show?
It's like a
Plays.
play at the theater. We need a secret phrase so that we know that you're the real Imbaran. Well, not the real Imbaran. Maybe you're both real Imbaran, but you're our Imbaran.
No,
Aaron, you know.
I don't know if he calls himself Imbaran.
Okay. Well, in case it is you, you know.
Don't you think that secret code words are things that are better worked out in person as opposed to via illusion magic on the road in the middle of nowhere?
Well, right, maybe, but the other version of him, identical or not, has never met us, so doesn't know to come to us. Unless he's split later on,
There's
right?
Cadaverous.
Yes.
We live in a world of magic and wonder,
Right.
and we're not exactly subtle.
I understand, but
Have you told
Okay.
people about my token?
Imbaran, when we appeared in your
Wait, is this
office,
Macklin?
no, not Macklin, Imbaran. Imbaran, when I appeared in your office, what animal was I?
I wasn't there when you appeared in my office.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you weren't.
You passed.
None of the above.
I was in the underlibrary. A map
is-
the DM really wants to use at one point. So
That is-
please do
that is
visit.
What other question could I ask? Imbaran, which one of us was the first that you met while invisible in your office?
Well, that would have to be you.
Right, so you are the original Imbaran. So the point I'm making, Aurelia, is that unless Imbaran split after coming into contact with this knowledge,
I'm not
the
implying
other
he's an
Imbaran.
amoeba.
No, I understand. The other Imbaran would not have
Amoebas,
this
very
knowledge.
common knowledge. Yeah.
So this is our
I'm
Imbaran.
well learned.
This is our Imbaran. So the ability to be certain that this is our Imbaran is only a boon if there is another Imbaran,
Okay.
right?
Sure. So who do you think is the other you?
I'm not exactly sure. It was in response to learning that my magical circle had been activated by me without me knowing. I believe someone is either posing as me in some way, mimicking everything I am and everything I do, or does have the memories that I happen to be missing, especially regarding the swords that that you all carry in your possession.
Or you did it and simply don't remember.
Possibly by having those memories at my own hand. Absolutely feasible, although the evidence is notably behind a warning to not tamper with from me to me. Assuming that is to be true, because if it is not, I could safely look into it. It could just be a ruse.
It's probably best if you don't look into it.
So,
I feel the same, excepting the parts
Let's-
of me that does not.
Listen to the first part of you. And also us.
What if I'm the second part?
somewhat philosophical question for you here. You are a servant to the kingdom, the city, and all of that, are you?
Yes, of course.
And would you give your life to protect it from danger?
I've done nothing but.
Would you be willing to lay down your life should something prove a large, dangerous threat to the city, continent?
The kingdom of Istad and I are intertwined. If anything were to threaten it, I would do everything, including sacrifice myself, to protect it and those within it.
That's all I needed to know.
We'll
Have
talk
you-
about this later.
Maybe we should give you some sort of secret code. That way, when we talk to you again, we can know which one of you we're talking to. Your color is blue. Can you remember that?
It works, because no human being will ever say that again.
It's like having a code word with the code word actually being code. I understand. Fine. I shall respond to this 11-year-old method of
It's so dumb. No one
secrecy.
else will think of it. It's the smartest thing I've ever thought of.
I believe that.
Those two sentences next to each other are astounding. Nonetheless, I believe your heart's in the right place. I would like you to investigate back to the tower underneath Win Caradin. There's evidence of my workings that feel recent.
And how did you become aware of this?
When I had learned that the portal was going to be activated, I kept a very distant eye on things.
So you saw something in Vincaridin that happened during.
I saw some magical phenomenon in Vincaridin that felt the same as when I looked upon those swords.
How recently?
I suppose within the last 9 or 10 days.
Apart from the swords, is there any other magical artifacts you feel yourself drawn to?
Actually, having worried about just that, I suppose I rolled the dice a little bit when I looked over my inventory of personal effects, none of which seemed to have those effects upon me. I was drawn to nothing. I focus or obsess about nothing, not in the same manner. It's a mystery that I cannot deny is more than just a little alluring. I must know what I don't know. It is who I am. It's my nature. And yet, if I do that, I could be uncovering something terrible, and it is dangerous. And I've given myself a warning, and the warning is authentic. There's no question about it. I do not believe I've been deceived. I don't believe.
And from my perception, whatever, this is definitely like an illusion. He's not physically there, right?
After stating he was an illusion, everyone is now very well aware of the illusion. There's no effect. He is very translucent and barely noticeable as a.
He's like
there's no fan.
Jedi.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions. Out of character.
Okay.
The first.
Go ahead.
The first question is, how long ago was the battle at the portal?
9 days, 4 days for the party to get back into the swing of things and steal and all of the fun and drama since, and then a week travel to here.
So it's been okay. And then my second question is, can I, having listened to him talk about Estad, do I get the sense that he is genuine in his devotion to the country?
You may roll to vibe.
I would love to roll to vibe, thank you. God, would I?
For those at home who don't know what that means, in the ridiculous phrase it means she's going to roll her insight and pretend it's a lie detector.
I'm not lie detectoring. I'm trying to gain insight.
I'm sorry. You're thinking of ESP. Yeah, sorry.
She knows.
28. Actually, I can read his mind.
We have become one. You're
I
fucking
am
mind melding
embarrassed.
with them.
I am an aspect of our
Oh shit, it's me! It's me! The amount of pride that swelled when he spoke of Estad, it is absolutely something he truly cherishes and loves. However, it is very important to remember that one person's perspective of love might be considered detrimental from a different perspective.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't throw Gamora off the cliff, but someone did.
Sodom.
It's because I love you.
What am I so afraid of? Afraid that I'm not sure of. That's an old ancient song lyric, so we're going to stop right there. All right.
Okay.
Does that answer your questions?
Those are my questions. Thank you.
Any other out of character moments where time stop is involved? Anybody?
I have an in-character moment.
Time stop will not be involved with those.
I would like to take out the gem and hold it
Okay.
in my hand.
Before we just allow for this because it's hilarious, which of you was in possession of the gem?
It's
Was
Tio.
it being held in the bag of holding with the rest
Theo,
of everything?
probably.
Yeah.
So Tio. That's a pretty important decision. I'm just gonna have Tio futz. Because if I know Tio, and I barely do, who does? It would be, are you sure? There would be a 12-minute.
I'm not gonna like offer it. I'm just going to take it out and see if there's like I'm not gonna go like this. I'm just gonna take it out and hold it in my hand and see if there's any reaction.
Okay.
But it does glow and stuff, so like
I feel this is a bad idea anyway.
we're gonna learn something though.
Mm-hmm.
And he already said
Okay.
he would die for his country.
That doesn't matter.
And he's just an illusion, so.
Yeah, that was my other question about the illusion, right?
Even so,
Can I poke an illusion, or is it just
why would you?
because what if he's just saying he's an illusion?
Well, because we learned moments ago that it is very clear to tell that he is an illusion.
Hence
Yeah.
I'm
I'd like
asking
to
that
poke it.
question.
Yeah.
Casey, Gislin has gone over to Tio. Gislin has that, I'm going to open that bag. You can't stop me. Look. Tio's like, okay. And you now have the gem in your hand.
All right, and I would like to observe Imbaran.
What's your mannerism? Describe the mannerism in which you're trying to see. Is it one of these like, what? Or what's your...
I will take it out, hold it in my hands, like I would hold, like not that I'm like, oh look, and just sort of like walk far enough away so that like he can, if he becomes fixated on it, he will become fixated on me, and I will notice.
Okay.
And then eventually return it back to the bag of holding. And is it still glowing? Is there anything different about it?
So roll me your perception. And anyone else may do so. I think the first thing everyone would do is look immediately at Imbaran once they see that Gislin has a gem. Like, except for
Thanks,
Jesse, who has now discovered that there is something else edible in her pocket.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
Is this a gem?
It is Deer Bone. I know it.
Jesse should eat the gem. I think we've solved this.
Okay.
Ooh.
So, Gislin, you've rolled your perception. Jesse, you rolled, unfortunately, your perception. I see that Aurelia has yet to, but is choosing not to or doesn't care.
Or is muted
It's
somehow?
muted.
Is Dora mumbling, or is that's just angst right there? You can't always roll a 28. I'm sorry. But all of you excepting Jesse clearly see that upon seeing the gem, there's a bit of curiosity for a bit of a glowing gem. Even from a distance, it's a little sparkly, right? And so Imbaran's eyes do look and gaze at it. But it's not held there. And he immediately goes back to the party and wonders why you're all frozen in a moment of just looking.
So wait, no, I'm not sure of.
We will look into this.
Where? I'll put it back in the bag of holding.
Tower beneath the new garden.
Oh yes. I was preoccupied with other things. Have you had any other interactions with Maglin recently?
Maglin's messages come from time to time.
So no.
Are you asking for something specific? I do keep in contact with my
Oh.
former apprentice.
What was his most recent message regarding?
He mentioned how he'll be maintaining a gate to hell, and that
Okay.
the gate has been closed and the area is secured, but he's worried about other breaches elsewhere. That's what his current endeavor is, at least. It's been less than a fortnight, so I'll let him have at it. If it were serious enough, I would be aware of something else anyway. So,
In your experiences with him, either as an apprentice or just observing, has he ever put other people in danger for the furtherance of his own motives?
I suppose to a degree. Never blatant mortal danger, but certainly harm's way. Maglin is ambitious well beyond his own family's former status. He's elevated from a minor nobility into one of the major nobilities.
And do you think this ambition would grow more dangerous the more power he obtained?
I suppose it should continue to serve him in obtaining that power. I'm not sure the ambition gets worse or is a tool, much like everything else is to Maglin. Maglin's very efficient, very adept. However, there is a moral compass that is not as true as some others.
He wastes food.
And
I've heard that.
do you know what the his ambition is a means to an end to? What is his goal?
And I'm supposing one day he wishes to become my replacement.
Mm.
By the by, what is Maglin's family name?
Maglin's family name, as my notes have fallen because I have a cat and that happens. Quick reach over here off camera. There we go. Let's see, where's that note? Here we are. I'm going to type it in the chat so I don't say it wrong, because even though it's relatively simple, you guys will hear it wrong.
Rothward.
I'd say Rothward, but then I'd be like, Rothward? Yeah, just easily stumble. I stumble over names. So, that is Maglin's family name.
Is this a name that I recognize?
It is a name that you do not recognize.
It's Maglin's surname.
Okay.
But now have seen it or heard it.
Sure have.
The impression is, as a minor noble house, they're not as well known. And that Maglin always puts his name on things and never the family name.
That's
Because
weird.
me!
If I could write, I'd put Jessie May on everything. That's my full name. Family name, May. Jessie May.
Well, we can go investigate the tower and perhaps report back what we find, or perhaps confirm your suspicions that something is dangerous for you to know there.
How'd you know where we were?
Cadavers has a token.
Do you
It lets
think
my
it
scrying find you with it, unerringly.
would that
I thought
not
you weren't supposed to do that.
put temptation in your way?
Mm-hmm.
It does. I've, of course, come up with some checks and balances to keep me from doing such things.
Do you have to do hopscotch, 10 jumping jacks, 5 lunges, and a barrel roll before you can scry? Is that the feat that you put?
Jesse,
in
he looks at you and then just looks at the others.
Looks at you the way a
right. Well, guess we'll never know.
Well, I guess off we go then.
Be careful. If it is me, I suppose in the to honor this bit of secrecy we've come to code words and such. Should there be a phrase I expect from you?
I
Dearbone was a dear friend of mine. That's my phrase of choice.
If any
If
creature
you're
in the
ever
world
wondering.
is powerful enough to recreate Jesse, I feel all is
All
already
is lost.
lost.
Oh, it's been over since the beginning. As second Jesse or reverse Jesse is out there.
The evil Jesse, the good Jesse,
Wait,
You know, I got
the other neutral Jesse.
I got 5 or 6 siblings. I can't remember how many, but
They're all
boys.
Jesse.
they're
but they're all still Jesse though.
yeah,
They're
They're
named
fragments
Jesse.
of Jesse.
exactly. Because you know, when you create
Broke
siblings,
apart
you
in the
just
womb.
they're just kind of pieces of me, but kind of different like pieces. You know what I mean?
Okay, so please go to Vincarity. Please, once again, descend to that place. We'll seek clues out. I'll do what I can to craft an item that may help. I'll have it delivered.
How? How do you deliver items? Would it be an illusion?
No, this would be very real. You've stepped through worlds, Jesse. It's easy to see
Yeah, but
that
your
items
thing.
could do the same.
Oh, maybe I'm not supposed to say that. I won't say that out loud. Hold on. Never mind.
No, I have something to say, but you're not gonna hear it because that. No,
I can't remember what I'm
tell
not supposed
you.
to tell you. Never mind.
Well, there's
Not gonna
something.
talk anymore.
And with that,
To
it
Vin
travels.
Carradine. I assume we want to go and investigate. Yeah.
I feel like we're leaving something hanging here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would
He's
like
gone.
to.
He just kind of fades.
That's fine. Goodbye, Bart.
A man that is willing to lay his life down for all he believes in is not a man we actually want to kill as our first option.
Well, I'm
Wait,
just saying
hold on. Which option was killing a bard? That was not one of my 3 options.
No, that's Gislin's option.
Yeah, I kind of agree with it because, well, you know, just at least knocking him out or something. Because if you're unconscious, you can't really do much damage.
If it comes
He
down
just lay
to
there.
it, and he learns the truth that he is dangerous, we need to know what he's going to do with that information. And if he still has some iota of himself left in it, it sounds
I
like
understand.
he will do the right thing.
I understand, but that should be that should be our final option, which is why I think showing him the gem, incredibly dangerous and unnecessary. We want to keep him as far apart from this as possible because we want to keep him alive.
Does someone have access to TOA's character sheet?
I do not.
Please. Oh, you do not. Oh, well, then I'll dig to see if the
I think I
roll
do.
21 is good.
I do.
That's the only one
You do?
that I don't.
Excellent. Could you roll the Arcana?
I think even more incredibly dangerous is the fact that he can literally see anything that we do through his token. I think we should leave the token behind.
Thank you.
I
To
also,
be honest with you,
I thought Tio was like +9.
It says +5 on here, unless it's not up to date.
Possible. So, all right.
the value that
First
his
level
help
Tio
has
is not.
provided
No, it
Has
says
been-
level 9. So
very valuable so far. He is intelligent enough to not look in at all times. I think it is fine for the moment.
He didn't seem all that unstable this time.
If you leave meat out to dry for long enough, soon enough the wolves will come and take it.
or me.
Or Jesse.
Right.
It doesn't even have to be
You
dry.
did just dangle fresh, dripping, delicious smelling meat in front of the wolf and nothing happened. So I think a little bit of dried, rotting meat can be out for a little while.
Wait, so I wasn't paying attention because I found some food. Did he look at it or did he not look at it?
He looked at it but didn't care that much.
He wasn't enamored with it the way he is for the swords, which was my
Well,
Are you
suspicion.
sure
But that makes
that he
sense.
could see it?
Because he's not next to it.
Notably, he didn't seem to have any kind of reaction to anything.
There's two. This isn't really conclusive, right? Because it could be because he was just an illusion, or it could just be that it kind of tracks that stuff that Ordon made with his power would be a temptation for him, whereas the fractured remnants of Ordon's memories aren't.
Well, I
We
think
do
we
not have
learned
enough
something.
information.
What did we learn?
we learned
Did
that
we have more questions?
he's not immediately drawn to it, or the presence of it in his consciousness does not seem to immediately destabilize him.
Okay. I think we should be a lot more careful with our rampant experimentation. It is a man's life we are
I
now.
Yet you would hand this gem over to somebody who would then experiment as they needed on it.
Yes. Because I believe that Maglin does care to restabilize
You just heard Imbaran.
Ember.
Maglin wants Imbaran's position. He has every reason to destabilize that man.
I would like
What a better
Embaran's position.
excuse. What a better
Well-
excuse as the man goes crazy to swoop
I
in
feel
and
like you are inferring or taking inference of things that weren't said. You want to paint Maglin as the bad man. So at any opportunity you will create the bad man narrative for Maglin.
And until
What
he
was said-
proves us
what was said-
otherwise,
what
then
was
he
said-
sits.
Is that Maglin is ambitious. And he is a little more morally grey than some people. And so far he has sometimes had people end up in harm's way because of it. At no point was it said that Maglin puts people in mortal danger. At no point does Maglin throw people's lives away for his ambition. He just is more focused on himself than others. Just like you are. Just like all of us are to an extent.
I think he's not like me in any way. I don't focus on myself at all. I do
You
what
focus on
must be,
your own goals.
I do what must be done that others can't or won't.
You do what you think must be done.
I think that what Imbaran was gesturing to was the same thing that happened to me a few weeks ago, which was that the fighting got tough, and Maglin just went, well, nope, and then he left. And Arabeth and I had to fight our way out of the shit.
Well, so he's a coward.
Which is what it is. I can take a hit better than he can.
You sure can. And you can give him out too.
Fuck yeah, I can. And then I high five Jesse.
Jesse doesn't jump, but you do.
Yeah, I just.
Well, Fincarden's a long ride, so we best be. heading to
Hold
the
on a
road.
second. We still have unfinished business with Maglin.
I have no unfinished
Yes.
business with Maglin.
We've stolen from him, and he has a bunch of evil swords.
Yes.
Well,
I think we should trading the swords for the gem.
right now we're like halfway between one place and the other place, so we can only make one decision.
We are. I think that we should focus on helping Imbaran first.
But what if we go to Vincarden and we find the clues that help us make the other decision about the gem?
It's very possible, which is why we should help Imbaran first.
That doesn't make sense because then we'd already done something with the gem, and then we got the clue about the gem after we already give away the gem.
Jesse,
That's not what Cadaverous just said.
Jesse, Imbaran is the wizard we just talked to.
Oh, you want? Hold on, now I'm confused.
I know you are.
I'm confused. You just simultaneously argued against yourself for two different things.
Wait, me or Holly?
Holly.
Yeah.
She's like, we should go do this. And then you start talking, and then she's like, we can't do that. I don't understand. Alright, I vote we go to Vin Carrington.
Me too. Not that my opinion matters in any way because I don't know what's going on.
I can just count on Jesse to always be 2 votes for my option.
Exactly.
I love democracy. So Vin Carrington or inevitable encounter with Maggie?
Tio will remain undecided as everything is too stressful.
You are role playing fantastically.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shepadab?
But long, drawn-out speeches about why, though, which I can't do. So.
Shepadab? Burr?
What?
What are your votes?
I already said Vin Carrington.
Yeah, Vin Carrington.
Oh, we're all in agreement?
Ding, ding,
We
ding.
were all
I thought we
agreed
were
with-
split
to begin
decision.
with.
I thought the only one who was arguing against us was you, Holly.
Okay, sorry. I'm just very lost then.
Casey, roll your deception. It's amazing.
Alright. To Vin Carrington we go.
And a week back toward the monastery, and a few days after that.
Our horses must be dizzy at this point.
Oh, God.
They're
Well, your
like,
horses
"Whoa,
are
whoa,
fine.
whoa."
Your horses are fine because you never got more than 2 days away the first time. And now this is the first real journey. Tio would absolutely allow you to ride along with Tio, Aurelia.
Gotta run, gotta
Because why should you have to walk, etc., etc. And the travel is safe. The main road has a lot of armed caravans that go by from time to time. The lands are peaceful here. As you skirt the northern passage past the Elven Kingdoms and go past it to the flats right before the Great Mountain Range, you find yourselves once again down the small trails that lead up into the mountains of Vincaradin. These trails, single horses can traverse, although it is not their favorite terrain. Absolutely not. If they were rangers, they would hate this.
Need a new level on Ranger.
They do. They do. But you manage to find yourselves near the tunnels that lead toward the city. And after traversing the tunnels for an hour or so, you find yourself at that very familiar entrance to Vincaradin, as it is the only entrance that you've ever used because you know it. And there's the bar where you once shared some drink with Jardine, down that first main stretch leading toward the centerpiece, which is mining. The mining excavation seems to be bustling more than ever, as it was just a few weeks ago when you arrived last time. There is a large operation by the dwarves to completely take possession of and scrutinize the valuables of the Undermountain that's been discovered. And so that is an ongoing process, as you'll find people in the streets just peddling wares for mining and excavation and architecture and building and materials and whatnot. Anything that any good company might need to then also foray into the large resource bed underneath. Passes are being sold to everybody, but through Jardine, you have all become well enough, known well enough to have passage into the under areas. You just have to speak with the foremans as they come and go, but as soon as they see who you are, they absolutely let you go. Notably, you will have run into Arabeth, who is still here. Just kind of ambling about.
I wave to her.
Zombie.
She nods at you. You know
We're
that,
back.
yes. And Arabeth has that stoic, I don't like to use conversation as a thing. attitude, but doesn't seem as put off as normal.
I'm gonna bop right on over to her and I'm going to just friendly kind of chattering, but like tell her about the trip and how I went back to the monastery and I ran into this guy and just like telling the story of like how this guy was like way older than me, but he got like completely turned around and I had to get him back to the monastery. Just like friendly chattering.
And in about 5 minutes, her sour face puss face is back. But she does listen to the entire chatter. If she asks, do you seek Jardine as well?
Do we need to see Jardine?
As long as all is well, no.
He has proclaimed that there are no more devils here, but since Meglin didn't give me any further instruction, I think I've fulfilled my part. Just being sure.
You like him, Maglin? You like him?
No.
Do you trust him?
With
Your life?
Yeah.
With others' lives?
Yeah.
You're gonna keep adding things until eventually you gotta say no. Go, see, guys, I told you, you should kill him now.
No, that's it.
Maglin is Maglin. He does stuff that does benefit others. Sometimes.
He didn't benefit me.
He doesn't have a good heart. Celia has a good heart. Jardine has a good heart. Arena, maybe.
You got a good heart.
No.
All right, then. See you later.
Then she lumbers off in her large bit of chainmail and her plate mail and whatnot.
I call after her. I don't think that's true.
You get a shrug of her shoulders where she doesn't turn around.
Well, shall we seek out a dwarven city? Or draconic city?
Do you think Dearbone will be there? No, he
we killed
exploded.
Dearborn.
Oh man, I have to come up with another name.
He
if we come up with
disintegrated.
another. All right. Well, yeah, I think we know the way. It might be a little bit different. Hey, there might be not goblins there no more. This be easier.
Yeah, I mean, we've been back again once already. When we went to hell,
What,
remember? Just
what
like
kind of-
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Did my
What
do
kind
not
of clue
disturb
are
run
we
out?
looking
It
for?
did.
I think that we
One
should
more hour.
go to the location of Dearbone.
2 more. 1 more.
Yeah, I do too.
And see if we can't perhaps deactivate this gem.
The one we have or the one that Dearbone had?
I think the
Well,
one
maybe we
Dearbone
should
had is
see
gone.
if that one that he had is still there. Or if this is that one.
If there's another Embarn, I may not get the chance. He may find us before we find him.
All right. Let's go. Need any supplies before we go down? Don't they have stuff here? You want to get some more of that good juice?
Healing potions.
Ooch.
Yeah.
I'll get some of that good juice.
I suppose it's not a bad idea. I did want to inquire about some more exotic armor here. But since I feel this chapter of our day may be ending shortly, perhaps we should press forward and then retroactively reminisce about the shopping we had at a later time.
Sure.
And as you step into the shopping quarter and then the fast forward button is pressed, you find yourselves through all of that down into the mine in front of the foreman who is escorting you. Oh, yes, here. This way. And they bring you to the freshly widened passages that now lead next to the tower with a large mechanical elevator clickety-clacking its way down through large chain and pulley systems. It's the most expeditious way of lowering and raising large bits of possible ore or whatever. And it's a larger elevator. It's like a 15 to 20 foot wide elevator, and it's about 10 foot plus deep. And it brings you down. You get a decent view of the tower that you want to then reascend, remembering that a lot of the bottom part was blasted out from your battle with an earth elemental from a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And other things that were goblinkins, bugbears, etc. at the time. That's all been cleared out, and it's much, much, much more specifically open and free paths and roads that lead to and from. And you start climbing the tower itself, and you get to the final door, which was a trap door that was that is clearly locked now, and has a dwarven guard posted, as it is apparently a area of interest. So the dwarven guard just kind of writes himself onto you and says, "It's your business here." And
Oh.
Is there somebody in there?
no, they just keep me here to make sure nobody just walks in. It's Crimson Guard business.
Oh, we know them. We're associates.
We were the ones who discovered this place.
Yeah, we have a name. It's called the Silver Hand.
You may roll your persuasion. You may do it with advantage because it is not just true, but it did happen in the dwarven community, so he would have heard it first, not like somebody across the city or across the, I should say, country. Yes, Kat, I know you're circling me.
Oh, 17.
2 17s, you with your doubles. And it's like, I think that is right. All right. Well, I'm not supposed to let people in, but you say you've been working with the guard, Crimson Guard?
Oh, yeah, for weeks.
Yes, I was working with Arabeth and Jardine to clear out the Avishai as well. Last week. Last week and a half.
I believe that has been going around that Jardine has some new folk here helping. That guy's
I
great.
have the claw scars to prove it. Hurt a lot.
Trick is beard covers scars. Should
I'll
think
get
about
right
growing
on
one.
I'll do that.
Anyway, let me just go ahead and don't be messing with me though. If this is a bad decision, it's gonna look bad on me. I'll unlock this for you guys. You can't be mistake.
Nah.
Trustworthy.
Here.
Opens up the door. It's like I remember. I heard about it. Pretty sure. I'm allowed to make my own judgment calls. It's fine.
Well, that's good. Here, you want a drink? I'll take out my
clearly
dwarven
I would.
flask. I'll take out my dwarven flask full of stuff, and I'll take a drink, and then I'll hand it to him.
What are you filling it with?
It's already full of stuff.
Stuff.
That's really vague, Holly.
It's got
Just
alcohol
full
in
of
it.
stuff.
Already full of stuff.
Just I've been collecting since we've been going along. There's streams.
There's so
And-
much stuff.
I definitely dunked it in that one thing that the horses were drinking out of. What the?
There's some goo in there.
It's just alcohol. I'll take a drink and then I'll give it to him. Here. Good man.
Well, he'll swig it down and say, "Not the best stuff, is it?"
It's dwarven.
Not anymore. It's not. What'd you do to it?
I drank it. Some of it.
Is this wash? Backwash? Oh,
You keep it. All right. Let's go.
I can't. I can't.
Yep.
This is disgusting.
You just keep drinking it. It won't. Yeah. There you go.
Go. Most of it is in his beard now.
Yeah.
He pretend drinks it. Blah, blah, blah.
In we go.
You're inside now, going up the last spiral staircase that leads to the only floor that has a lot of structure still left to it. The entire laboratory seems to have been organized, as it has now been cleaned up. All the rubble stacked up neatly into something Wally-esque, as it is stacked up into squares and just... And the table itself having each old and ancient container, remembering that this is a circular room, and the tables themselves were mostly square but had a slight bent to them to kind of like push against the far curved walls, and those are all stacked with all sorts of little beakers and samples and rocks and etc. There appears to have been a great deal of scrutiny that was done in here. There appears to be no pile of bones.
Poor Jeroboam. He got swept up and thrown away. Or buried. Maybe he was buried.
Well, I don't see any others.
Well, they said that some sort of magical thing happened here. Maybe you can look for some sort of magic thing. I can't really find the magic.
Of all the things in the room, as it's a plethora of arcane, I don't say arcane, I should say archaeological organization. There's baggies. There's little notes scrawled next to things. There's pinned up scrolls of small diagrams, etc., etc. You can roll an investigation, and if Holly, if you could go ahead and give that to Tio as well.
Sure.
Fantastic. As Tio is literally going like, do I even remember this place? I think I do. Oh, what's this? They changed something.
Tio rolled a 22.
Anybody else investigating?
I can either assist or I guess I'll just roll. Just easier that way. 14 for me.
10 for me.
I will
Miss.
also be rolling. Mine is on the way. 14. Good job, Jesse. Keep it up.
Solid one, Jesse.
Consistent.
Jesse's like, there's no bones.
He's like on the floor looking for bones.
Indeed, the scorch marks of the explosion still exist here in the chamber, but they've been mostly swept away, so there's no like just loose residue from it. It's just the actual scorch marks that haven't been scrubbed away that remain. Beyond all that, you don't find much of anything until Tio's like, well, this is missing. This is clearly missing. And Tio picks up a small little note, and it says here, crown. Same thing that those things were supposed to be set in. And it was this exhibit, this one right here. And it's like there's a tag on it or whatever. And it's just an empty, small little section, as if you were going through a giant museum and there was just one little display missing. So it's rather obvious. And he's like, someone took the crown. Someone has the crown. They found the crown. It's listed as the crown. They said wrought crown, 3 pieces.
What
which means
crown?
it's been. Well, I guess it's the gem crown, right? Because that's where we found the gem in here.
Rot?
Wrought.
Like,
With the
Work
W.
steel.
okay.
Work steel? Work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's some kind of broken crown right here.
Okay.
River City.
And it says here on the back, Maglin was the first to play with it.
Well,
Look at all this. You can't see. It's invisible ink. Look at this.
It's invisible paper too.
Paper itself's a little translucent. It's hard to see in the dark. These dwarves, they don't do really good. They have some lanterns around, but it's all ambiance.
So, Maglin potentially has this, or it was taken by.
Well,
Well, it'd be weird if he
Yeah.
signed it and then stole it.
I mean,
But also, maybe.
I mean, the 9 days ago, Maglin came down here, he found the gem, and he went back to the capital city. And 9 days ago, according to Mbaran, there was an aspect that was here that was doing some sort of working. Which.
Mhm.
I mean, who's to say that
Oh, that's not
Maglin
dirt.
is not the other aspect of Embar?
You mean other than all their previous interactions thus far?
Well, they don't know who they are.
Theo agrees. Maglin is very suspicious. Very suspicious. But only
Uh-huh.
because Tio has an unending hatred for Maglin.
I mean, are these aspects identical copies? Are they different pieces
Oh,
of the same
but-
puzzle?
But he would be able to have seen evidence of his work previously to now, right?
Fourth, fifth,
Well, assuming that he would tell us.
fourth, fifth.
Mbaran would have been able to
One.
see it before.
Yes.
And Baron would have what? What? I wasn't listening.
If Mbaran can look at something and tell that it's the work of another aspect, because it's his but not his, then every time Maglin's cast magic in front of him, he would do the same thing, right?
Don't know how any of this works.
But maybe they could hide that too. I couldn't sense any magic when I detected it on the gem.
Okay, let's not go full conspiracy theory on Maglin quite yet. Reel it in.
But that's true. Tio said that last time, that he couldn't find any magic on the gem.
I want to talk
But
to the
why is
guard.
it glowing?
Huh?
Is there a record of
What's
all,
glowing?
all of the people
The
who have,
gem.
nothing's glowing. Is there a record of all the people who've been in this room? Is there a guard here 24/7?
We should ask the guard.
I
The guard down the stairs is like wringing out his beard. And he's like, oh, it's god awful. No more.
I
I'm
don't have any
okay.
more.
Full. I'm full. First time today.
Well, that's good because I don't have any more.
It's a shame. Such good dwarven
My friend has a question.
brew.
Is there a guard stationed here at all times?
Yeah.
Is there a record of those who come up here? All right, in your mind,
Well, we gotta tell the foreman when we're done. Sure.
right.
He might write it down.
There's an item missing from upstairs. We need to
Yeah,
know,
they take stuff all the time. The archaeological team.
if we're looking for a certain item, who do we ask and who do we see who's been here? If it has been taken by them or by somebody who wasn't supposed to take it.
Was there still something there from it? Because they write down a lot.
There was a note, yes, of what it was, but the item itself is not there.
All right. So at the bottom of the tower, where all the wreckage is, we found all those lumpy rocks and some whatever. You go past that, go around the other side. We've been digging it out. They've kind of found a small cavern. They've set up a little archaeological site there. There's a guy there. I'll give you his name later. I'm new. I don't know. You go down there. They'll talk to them.
Thank you.
The dream is continuing. Anything else here in the observation area? If you leave Tio alone, he'll never leave. He's like, this is fascinating.
Tio can keep investigating while we go talk.
And with that, Tio wholeheartedly agrees, because until Tio's not an NPC again, I shouldn't be overdoing Tio. So, perfect. I'll stay here. I'm on to something. I shouldn't stand on this. And you've made it back down through the tower and around the bend. A small cave has been hollowed out. There appears to be tables and a few dwarves that are talking with the monocles that are really into like miniature painting.
They've got their 40k armies in front of them.
The 4 models they've finished, and they're like the
Everything
700
else is
they
not
bought.
painted. Yeah.
Just pictured
they're
a dresser
ready.
drawer with a monocle.
It's amazing. And one of the dwarves comes up. Archaeological foreman, can we help you here? You have some questions or donation? Did you find something? Are you one of the salvage teams?
We were, I guess we found something. We found this place. We were the first ones to discover the tower.
Excellent. We've been here for weeks though, so I doubt that.
Great. Then perhaps you can help me. We were just looking around in the tower, and we noticed that there was an item missing, and we're looking to track it down, or at least...
Wait, not
figure out-
everybody's authorized to go in the tower.
We are. We're friends of the Crimson Guard, and have a bit of a history in this place.
I wish they would give us a finite list of who's... whatever. Okay. What do you need? What do you do?
There's
Jardaine's a good guy. I didn't mean to say anything otherwise.
a crown, a wrought crown, missing from up there. There's a note that says it should be there.
Wrought clown, blah, blah.
No, the wrought clown was there. It was quite unsettling.
That is very disturbing. It's just like half a clown face and a small sewer grate.
Yeah.
But, yes, the wrought crown. And he starts, tearing apart a desk for the notes. And he hollies it. And he's like, aha! No, wait, wrong book. Hold on. Aha!
Good luck.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure it's this one. And he reads, okay. So we found a wrought crown on the, we found 3 pieces of a wrought crown. We believe there are 4 pieces. 1 piece is missing. We believe that the crown has been destroyed with the magical blast, consistent with the scoring that was found on the rock nearby. The rock was covered in bone, but the bone was so fragile that any collection turned most bone fragments to dust.
Oh, that's deer bone.
It was certainly not a deer. That makes no sense. It wasn't even a quadruped. All right, so we did find countless small items nearby, some flecks of metal that was likely also part of the crown that has been ripped apart, including one mostly intact seat for a gem. It looks like it was a centerpiece, and that is down here in this drawer, and he pulls it out. And it is indeed the holder part of metal that would be affixed with a large gem
So
as
that
a
is
centerpiece.
part of the crown itself.
Yep. Then you're going to have the 3 large pieces, the circlet parts. with a smaller fourth piece missing. Looks like we did find. Well, here, take a look at this. And he shows you a note that's all in dwarven. Can you read it?
Nope.
I see. Well, I guess if I had to translate this, this loosely says that a name was etched into each of the pieces as if it were carved in by a fingernail, which is very interesting because the metal is wrought mithril, and that would be almost difficult to do if you were outside the forge that was making it. The names include the following. This is on one piece. This is on the next piece. Did I do that right? I did. And this is on the last piece. Now, the last piece had the most damage, and we believe that is incorrect or incomplete. Likely that name extended onto the fourth piece that was missing.
And you have all of these pieces, aside from the missing one here, with you now.
No, that should. Oh, are you saying that's not upstairs in
There is
place?
Nothing upstairs in place.
Look, hold on. He starts shuffling through lots of more paper. Blah 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 blah. And okay. Who withdrew? Oh yes. Crimson Guard is in possession of the pieces. Specifically, their human wizard.
Maglin. And this is authorized?
Yeah. Why wouldn't it be there? Crimson Guard, Jardane's part of it. He's pretty much a
Right.
hero.
I just
Sure.
wanted to make sure this was all on the up and up.
Where exactly did you find these pieces in the city?
I'm sorry? They were
Where
in the
exa-
tower.
they were in the tower. Okay, so let me paint you a picture since you weren't there in the beginning. There was a large explosion that must have occurred at one point. Some of the scoring pretty fresh, actually. The whole tower itself was the whole laboratory was mostly turned to rubble. We have surmised that most of it was rubble already, as the tower was likely ancient. Not quite like the rest of it. It had some preservation to it. The tables, for example, were still intact, and that's no small miracle. But a lot of it was ruined, whether through the passage of time and or whatever arcane experiment went wrong in there.
It was a big explosion.
I'm sorry?
What?
I said it was a big explosion.
So you were there? Is this what you were the Crimson Guard people that found it?
We're the Silver Hand.
We don't
So you
work
said.
for the Crimson Guard. We work with them. If anything, they work for us.
Exactly.
But yes, we were the first people to find our way into this tower, and well, we saw the rubble and destruction that you spoke of. We entered through the top of the tower and made our way down, as it was all buried at that point.
We killed all the goblins too. So,
Not all of them.
most of them,
We killed some goblins.
a lot of them
Killed a fair amount of them.
Handful.
in
There
the
was
dark.
quite a campaign against the goblins for quite a while, weeks. The place, the warrens outside, those little lava tubes everywhere. Ugh. I'm glad I am not having to deal with that mess. Although my own mess is its own. This doesn't belong here. Philip.
And these names on the pieces of the crowns, do they mean anything in your research?
Well,
historically?
it's important because they've been etched in as if they had come after the creation of the crown. They were etched in with you would have to have a very precise piece of metalworking equipment to etch it. And it would be something more of an artistic piece. this was done as if it were done with some sort of claw or something, some such.
So not with whatever tool you're describing, but
No, certainly not. It doesn't match the creation of the crown, but it's intriguing because as if it were, and it was on the interior of the circlet. So it's intriguing because these names may have significance to the wearer of the crown.
Mm-hmm.
and so we believe all the pieces of this are with Magdalene now.
Well,
How long ago
he's
did
in possession of it.
did he
Uh,
check this out?
Well, it was more of an indication that it was a transfer to him.
Do we know when that happened?
Yes, exactly 10 days ago.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Well, thank you. Do you have any other record of who has come and gone from this location? Perhaps.
We have record of visitors if they're not already team members, right? So my team members have come and gone every single day. We categorize, we've cleaned up the place, etc. We do have some record. What is the?
I'll give them the description of Imbaran. Anyone
Okay.
matches that description?
Certainly not. If there was a tall wizardy fellow, it would have been that Crimson Guard fellow. The other humans that came through, there was a lady. She was with the wizard briefly. She didn't even go up the tower.
Didn't talk much.
Kept her distance.
Crimson Guard.
Probably. She was wearing the shiniest of armor. Jardine had been coming up a few times, especially after the breach. There was some devilkin that was floating around.
In
Luckily,
here? Up there in the tower?
Well, everywhere, right? So that was the idea that Jardine had to make sure it was safe. So he gave us the thumbs up. We're good. You know, we're worried we might lose some things, but everything was still there when we got back.
Including this crown.
Well, maybe. I don't know. Magdalene took the crown 9 days ago. So, yeah, I suppose it was already gone and accounted for by the time that Jardine came and cleansed everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you have any other questions about who came and went, we can look a little harder. Some of the reports that come from the guards go to the foreman and not the right guy sometimes. But we've done a pretty good job at cataloging the comings and goings, as well as contents and whatnot. So, is there something else we can help you with? Well, more specifically and significantly, if you're working with the Crimson Guard, or they're working for you, why didn't you know ahead of time? And then also, why were you seeking the crown? Did you notice it randomly? It was something you were up there for.
Oh no, we weren't looking for it.
We
Do
didn't
you
know
know
that
the-
it
we
was
didn't
gone.
we didn't know the crown existed until.
Did you know the rest of the name? So the names mean nothing to you. Okay.
Tio, do the names mean anything to us?
Tio's upstairs.
Tia! To the top of the tower.
Tio's like hanging out that little balcony. I'll be right down. You won't believe it, guys.
Dust himself off. Oh, Boros. Yes.
Yeah. The people that keeps up with all the names
Red,
is
white.
upstairs.
And so it is that this game has come to its conclusion. You have discovered that there is, more specifics to what Magdalene was doing here. And whatever he did, whether he's an aspect as well, or maybe he disturbed one, or maybe it's something. Let's find out next week.
I have another
We're
question.
trying to close a little early today. Thanks for all the viewers for putting up with all this junk. But we have had a request by an unnamed player, also known as Shebadab. Shebadab has requested this, and so we shall call it here, shall we?
Yes. Thank you to Tepid the Pond for your follow,
We
and
got a follow.
and thank you to Anon for some gifted subs. Welcome to
Wow.
the family. Thank you again, Anon, for being the gracious, welcoming party that you are. I hope your D&D game went well today. I think you were playing today.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank you all, and we should be back at it, our regularly scheduled programming next week, Monday at 7:30. We were a little tied up with other things this week, but should be all normalized.
Oh, Kevin McLeod, thanks.
Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
My music was not on repeat the whole time, even though all of the settings said they were. So
Oh, I had to turn that down.
I think I did Brandenburg Concerto, and I did the other one, which was Evening Fall. Oh, and I did Eggnog Overture at one point because I wasn't sure Evening Fall was working. Anyway, there you go. Thanks, Kev.